the man who's consistently in my mind. If it's not in my mind, he's on my bookshelf. I make sure his words are always around me. So, media team, let's cue the advert and then we will get started with the conference today. If there is no advert, I'm quite happy to go straight into. Throughout today, you will be hearing, here we go.
God has blessed. It is foolishness, and I've seen people do that, to think that, oh, I don't need any human being. Let me tell you this world has been given to men to govern, and who gave them? God. Why he did, when we get to heaven, ask him why. But this world, when God wants to bless you, the proof is that he used these people. And so it's not to your advantage not to celebrate or respect the place of network in building wealth. Christians are the most, what do I call it, the most snobbish people you can find sometimes, right? The most, you just undermine people, you just look down on people, and you don't know that when God is ready to bless you, the proof is that men are ready to favor you.
Join us tonight for the Global Believers Wealth Conference at 7 p.m. Register on www.stephenakintayo.com/BWC.
It's not enough for you to have the candle. It's not enough for you to have the lights on. You have to let it shine. So if you have the good works, why then do you believe in the lie that a good product sells itself? It's a lie. A good product does not sell itself. It is a known good product that sells itself. And if Jesus has commanded us to let our light shine, then why do we do this fake humility where you're trying to say, no, I don't want to be too out there, I don't want to be too much, I don't want people to judge me, I don't want that? And these are valid excuses, but guess what? They are excuses. It's not enough for you to have the good works. Your good works has to be known if you want people to know, if you want people to see the good works, if you want people to glorify your Father in heaven.
Join us tonight for the Global Believers Wealth Conference at 7 p.m. Register on www.stephenakintayo.com/BWC.
Wonderful. There you have it. I want you to go and tell the world about this conference. I have no doubt, and I just have this sense in that when we get to heaven, before God begins his proceedings, he will first of all ask Stephen Akintayo to come forward, and he will give him a special award for truly empowering his people in the path of wealth and the understanding of what it means to make the kingdom come here on earth as it is in heaven. Somebody shout amen in the comments below. I say that because I had the privilege of encountering our first speaker in 2023. And I have to say, my life has never been the same since. I had the privilege of traveling with him around the world. We had a book tour. And on this book tour, he challenged every single one of my paradigms. I thought I was thinking big until I met the African lion. He challenged my thinking in terms of business, in terms of family, in terms of what I needed to do with my ideologies. You see, there are many people you will meet on the internet who profess to have wealth, but all they've done is read a motivational book and they're trying to sell their courses. Nope, not our speaker for today. Our speaker for today is one who lives what he teaches. And as a result, he's able to leave a path for us all to follow. Oh, if you're already following him on Instagram, you know this man, number one, knows how to enjoy his wealth. And number two, knows how to challenge people in a place of wealth. Number three, he knows how to leverage relationships in order to go to the next level. Dr. Stephen Akintayo is really going to make something happen today. So you've got to have your pen and paper ready. We're taking this to school. You're a wealth builder, and wealth building is your responsibility. And every wealth builder needs to have the master builder himself. Well, let's go straight in. I don't want to waste no time because you didn't come here to hear me. So I want to introduce to you Dr. Stephen Akintayo, Africa's most influential investment coach. He's a member of Forbes Business Council, an invitation-only organization for successful entrepreneurs and business leaders all around the world. He's a serial entrepreneur. He sees or oversees GTEX Holdings, and he's also the founder of Stephen Akintayo Consulting, a firm that expands the frontier of knowledge, wealth through different mentoring programs such as real estate, business structure, e-commerce, digital marketing, authoring and speaking, money making, which includes cryptocurrencies, forex, stocks, and shares. Dr. Stephen Akintayo is known around the globe. He's one who has taken the internet by storm. One thing I love about this man, he's not keeping his wealth to himself. He's challenging each and every one of us to rise to the next level. If we were in a room right now, I would ask you to stand up on your feet and put your hands together for the one, the only, Dr. Stephen Akintayo. Let's put our hands together.
Dr. Stephen Akintayo is Africa's most influential investment coach. He is a member of the Forbes Business Council and a recipient of several prestigious awards, including the Forbes Best of Africa Leading Investment Coach and Real Estate Mogul by Forbes Africa. He is the chairman of GTEX Holdings and the founder of Stephen Akintayo Foundation. GTEX Holdings is the mother company of 11 subsidiaries with a highly innovative and young workforce. These subsidiaries include GTEX Homes, GTEX Land, Stephen Akintayo Foundation, GVest, GTEX Farms, GTEX and Associates, GTEX Academy, GTEX Soft, GTEX Hub. GTEX Holdings has several branches in Nigeria, which include Lagos State, Ibadan, Abeokuta, Asaba, Abuja, and Port Harcourt. Other offices are in Dubai, the UK, and the US, and the company plans to extend operations to other African countries like Ghana, Rwanda, and Uganda. Dr. Stephen Akintayo is also the host of the Global Property Brokers Conference, the largest brokers conference in Africa. Now renamed the Global Wealth Festival, several renowned speakers like Grant Cardone, Ryan Serhant, Dr. John Maxwell, and others have been brought on the platform. Dr. Akintayo has hosted some of the world's most renowned speakers on his platforms like Robert Kiyosaki, Brian Tracy, Les Brown, Dan Locke, Toby and Tomi Arayomi, Toby Adegboyega, and several others. He is the host of the Investment Chat in a Rolls-Royce, which teaches people about different investment opportunities around the globe. Learning Luxury Show, a show that educates on the benefits of owning luxury and monetizing it, and Big Talk Show, aimed at enlightening youths and the general public on election-related issues in order to build the new Nigeria. He is also the host of the Billionaire Habits podcast, Burj Khalifa series in Dubai. You can watch them on the Billionaire Habits podcast. Dr. Stephen is also the author of 42 books. His latest are The Billionaire Habits for Pastors, Billionaire Habits for Entrepreneurs, and Becoming a Billionaire Land Banker. All his books can be found in Dr. Stephen's books. To book him for speaking engagements, email eg@stephenakintayo.com and contact +234 8198 000 618 for more inquiries.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to hand over to you, our keynote speaker for this session, Dr. Stephen Akintayo. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, Action Jackson. Good to see you. Thank you for anchoring this for us. He has
I think we have a few technical issues there. While we're doing that, in the comments below, what business are you in, or are you planning to go into business? Or are you in business? Would you like to develop a business? Because one of the most powerful thing about wealth is the fact that it's about adding value. We do have Dr. Stephen back with us now. I think it's just there's some connection issues.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about that. I was just talking about you that you've infected your daughter with your energy. You know, and because your energy is contagious. And thank you for to host this. Thank you for doing this.
Pleasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to day 2, and day 2 is going to promises to be really, really great. And day 2 also will be short. However, you then need to, how do I put it? You need to be ready to pay the sacrifice of what is being reduced from day 2 has been added, to the other days. So this is the only day that, we may finish on time, even before time. Subsequently, there's no guarantee because we are now having 3 speakers, 4 speakers, 5 speakers, right? So I hope we're ready for that bombardment going forward. I'm going to be talking, yesterday we started, and I started with, biblical lessons from the book, The Billionaire Habits, that are good for Christians. So today I'll be picking on the book, The Billionaire Codes. And so most of what I'll be sharing with you will be from the book, The Billionaire Codes. And of course, bringing out a lot of, Christian values and principles from it. If you can see my slide, you can type, I can see a slide. Okay. I need energy this morning, guys. I need energy. Okay. This is the morning energy, right? Beautiful. So I love when people respond and we are very, very energetic. Okay. So that's the book, The Billionaire Habits, and it has endorsements from from Brian Tracy, who says this is an amazing book full of wisdom and ideas that you can use to improve your financial situation immediately. Grant Cardone says, this guy is amazing. It's phenomenal. Ben. Okay, I think I've always played that game. Damon John says, I know he's putting you on the right track. I've met him. He's really amazing. How come everybody is using amazing for me? By the way, Damon John is the founder of Fubu. John Maxwell said that Stephen is my friend. I respect what he's doing as a real estate company. Robert Kiyosaki says, if you want to be a billionaire, you have to think like a billionaire and think bigger. That's why you need The Billionaire Habit by Dr. Stephen McIntyre. That's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad. And then Les Brown says, you're an icon, a forceful good on the planet. God has chosen you for that, and I recognize it. So you have all these amazing people saying this. So this is a really, really a good book. You should work on. So the power of focus is the first thing we're going to talk about from this book. The power of focus. I have realized that nobody goes far in life without focus. In fact, let me say this. Your enemy really have not gotten you. They haven't until they succeed in shifting your focus. Let me say it again. Your enemies do not have you yet until they have succeeded in shifting your focus. And that's why, as a rule, no matter what you hear or what I read about me on social media, at that point when I still have so much energy and pain about it, I don't talk about it. Because I understand the game. The game is to shift my focus. So sometimes you see me talking about an issue a year later, when it's now a testimony, 6 months later, because I understand that at that point, I have overcome the temptation of my focus being moved from the real thing, from the real deal. Come on, are we learning here? And by the way, please invite people, share the links, and get everybody in here. I know some of them want to join when it's 6 a.m., some want to join when it's 7 a.m. Action Jackson joined 4 a.m., the UK time. And your willingness, and I've seen this culture, our morning sessions, lesser participant, evening session, everywhere is jam-packed. We need to build a culture of waking up early. Every great man you see today, I don't care who they are people of the night season. They do not joke with the night season. Either they don't sleep early or they wake up early. There's something powerful about the night season. There's something powerful about using the timing when everybody's still sleeping. It even has a psychological effect. It tells you are moving the opposite direction. And I hope you know, by the way, by now, that they prove you're on the right track is that your opinion is not popular. I hope you know that, right? One of the proof that you're on the right track is your opinion is not popular. You are not going the conventional route. When they zig, you zag. When they zag, you zig. You're always going the opposite direction. A lot of people have asked me, Dr. Stephen, you're buying a 40-acre property, you're building a 400 unit when the housing market is in trouble in America, interest rate is at the highest. Sir, I am not like everybody else. If I were to have been born in America, I can assure you my record will have beaten Elon Musk. But even with the fact that they gave back to us in Nigeria, we are giving it to everyone back to back. And the proof that we know what we're doing is that we are not conventional. We're not doing everything everyone is doing, right? When you start copying everybody, it means you lack focus. It means you lack focus. People of focus they are mad people. And I hope you know I'm not normal. I hope you know that. I'm here to say a great man that is normal. Martin Luther King wasn't normal. You don't even understand. There was a lot of segregation, and the guy said, I have a dream. One day, okay, you will not be judged by the color of your skin, but the content of your character. See how cool it is now to be black. See how cool, right? Many of you don't know how cool it is to be a Nigerian in America now. You say, oh, Burna Boy. I love his music. Wizkid with Davido, right? But somebody prophesied it at a point where if you are black, go to the back. If you're black, you cannot sit where the whites are. If you're black, the best thing we can use you for is to be a slave. Somebody had a dream. He wasn't conventional. He was so unconventional, they assassinated him. Come on, something is wrong here. Why are you not normal? Can everybody type, I am not normal, I'm not normal, I'm not normal. Right? I'm not normal. The word extraordinary means you must be extra. You must be extra. There must be an extra to your ordinariness. Right? If you remain ordinary like everybody else, then you get what everybody else is getting. Focused energy referred to concentrated, directed effort or attention applied to a specific task, goal, or objective. It involved channeling one's mental, emotional, and physical resources towards an aim. As you see me so, for the next remaining 6 days of this conference, this is where my focus is. There's nothing else you can tell me. It is the Global Believers World Conference. It's a laser focus on the conference. When I'm done now, I move to the next program. But there is an undivided attention on this project. Why many of us don't move forward is that we are distracted. You're checking out your neighbor. You are looking at somebody else. You are comparing. The Bible says they that compare themselves with themselves are unwise. It is lack of focus that make you to even see your current situation. Listen, you see where you're going. That is what Joseph had. I love talking about the story of Joseph a lot in the Bible. Joseph had laser focus. He was in the pit. All he was seeing was palace. He was in, a slave. All he saw was that he was a king. He carried himself with such a dignity. He will not sleep with his boss wife because it wasn't kingly. Because he knew he would soon be his boss. And he didn't want any rubbish accusation to affect him at the level he was going to. That was the Joseph. He saw himself differently. He was too focused. The proof that he was focused was, how can you be a confirmed criminal and you were telling the butler that, oh, you guys should remember me, right? The cobbler, right? And the butler, and you were telling them to remember you. Listen, you are a condemned prisoner. You are not even entitled to come to the palace. But remember, Joseph was focused on the fact that I know what God showed me. I know what God told me. How many of you are going to be focused this year, 2024, on what God showed you? It's not what people are saying. They call you names, they call you scammer, they call you this. You know what God showed you. They lock you up. You know what God showed you. That business is crumbling. You know what God showed you. They demoted you in that company. You know God showed you you'll soon be the MD of that company. Right? Focus on what God has shown you. I repeat it again. Your enemy have succeeded once they shift your focus. That is always the goal of the enemy. Shift the focus. Let him get distracted. Let him begin to fight everybody and argue. And that's one of the reasons why, even when there are legal issues to face, what I've learned to do is building a system around your defense rather than being the one defending it. Build a system. Because even all that, oh, we are going to court, we are doing, is another distraction to the main objective. You have something more important to face. This is also the reason, let me tell you, why I do not borrow personal money for any personal thing. And I don't borrow people personal money as well. I say I had a very dear friend of mine when we were in the university. She called me yesterday. Oh, my friend, please, I need money. It's January, urgent. I said, but you know me, I have a policy. I don't borrow people money. Send your account. The little I can give as a gift, I will send it. Okay? But that is a rule. And you know why? Many of you now, your problem is that you are so distracted about somebody who owes you money. The energy you should have used to raise new money, you've been using it to report the person to everybody that matters. You have even turned yourself to a monitoring spirit. If you see the person take picture with anybody, you slide into their DM, right? See? Are you taking picture of this person? Tell him to give me my money. The devil have gotten you. Because that enemy you are using to enter DM to chase some money, you can use to get new money and bigger money for that matter. Are we together? Come on, talk to me if you are learning. Because I know many of you are doing this right now. God is speaking to somebody here. God is speaking to someone here. Okay? So if the enemy succeeds in getting your attention and shifting your attention from what is most important, right? Then you won't build wealth. Fighting unnecessary battle, jumping from pillar to post, right? Jumping up and down. That's why a lot of time when I face issues in life and business, I ask myself, what is God trying to tell me here? What is God trying to tell me? Sometimes God is saying, move to the next place. This is not the permanent site. But guess what? Some of us will now still sit there and say, we'll fight it to the finish. We'll finish them all. You are losing focus. Can you type, I will focus on the focus in 2024? Come on. I need your energy. I will focus on the focus in 2024. I will focus on the what? On the focus. In 2024, the enemy will not get me out of focus. In 2 Timothy 1:7, say, for God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. You wonder, how does this relate to focus? Fear is as a result of lack of focus. Fear is as a result of lack of focus. You will only be afraid when you are not focused. That's why there's a powerful, popular quote. It says, when fear knocks the door, send faith, and you see nobody's at the door. Now, what is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Can you allow me to say faith is focus? Yes. Yes. Faith is focus on what God has shown you. Faith is focus on the focus. Faith is focus on the unseen. Faith is focus on where you are going. Faith is prioritizing your future more than today. This is the reason why, you know, and I've said this often about cars. There's a reason why the mirror showing you where you're coming from in a car, right, is smaller. But your windshield is so big that it covers the entire front. Why? Where you are going is more important than where you are coming from and where you are. Where you are going is more important than where you're coming from and where you are. Some of you, because you've had some setbacks before, you are dwelling there rather than focus on where you're going. You are allowing yourself wallow in self-pity. Don't you understand? They've cheated me before. They hate me before. Let me tell you this, and everybody should hear this. I would rather be seen, and hear this very well, as the victor than to play the victim card. And this is one of the reasons why you don't see me write stories when I'm down or talk about challenges I face. It's intentional. Because, and I've taught this many times, you do not enter shark-infested waters when you're bleeding. I will say it again. You do not enter shark-infested waters when you're bleeding. Your focus should be on the healing, not to, and the people you are running up to, who are distracting you, who you are shouting, see what has happened to me again, see what they've done to me again, see how they've messed me up again. Okay? These people are part of those enhancing your distractions. And those distractions will never allow you get to where you're going. Again, do not enter shark-infested waters when you're bleeding. Focus on getting healed. I hope that is for somebody here. Focused energy is key element in achieving success and making progress in various areas of life. Stay focused and get it done. And this is one of the reasons why you must understand this, that ultimately it is the result that counts. That's why I say the result terminates insult. You must use your energy to focus on the result. Let me tell you the truth, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of the day, it is the results that counts. Let me say that again. At the end of the day, it is the results that counts. I have seen people call me all sorts of names. True story. The day I get results, they are the first to greet me. First to greet me. First to say congratulations. First to say we are proud of you. I have heard people who have said some terrible things about me at the back. Right? And people got those feedbacks to me. And to my surprise, the same people, the day they hear something good has happened, they are the first to chat me up. We have always known you will make it. We have always known that you are going places. And I'm like, but you told this person that, I was this, I was that. You told them. But of course, sometimes we don't. That's why you saw me playing, I posted a picture. What was it called? There was this new song by, Ebuka Songs and Moses Bliss, right? About where the new generation, God is, right? God is raising fine boy, we love Jesus. And so, and I did an article, and you go, please read my articles. I do a lot of articles on Facebook and on IG. And one of the things I said in that article, I said, the truth is that my enemies actually love me in secret. All they are doing is just jealousy, but we'll pretend as if we don't know. Right? One of the reasons why you must never lose focus is that actually your enemies are envious of you. They love you deep down. They wish they can be doing what you are doing. Right? And anytime they drag you and distract you, it's just so that, can't you slow down? Can't you come and join us at our level? That's just the goal. And if you then slow down rather than focus on where you're going, then you lose. And you will not get the opportunity for the same people to come back and celebrate you. Laser focus. Focus energy is a powerful force that, when harnessed effectively, can lead to increased productivity, achievement of goals, and overall success. It involves intentional, concentrated effort, mindfulness, and a commitment to continuous improvement. Okay? So build the capacity to focus and focus and focus, because when you do that, you have this powerful energy, right? And that energy just turns things around for you. So number two, have a routine. I've realized that every great person has a routine, right? For example, how many of you know that it's believed that Cristiano Ronaldo has been donating blood every month for over 20 years? Right? How many of you know that Dangote, a Muslim, a northerner, does not sleep earlier than 2 a.m.? Same with Bishop Oyedepo, a pastor, a southerner, a Christian. Right? Everybody has a routine. Everybody has a routine. Everybody that is great that you know has a routine. Have a routine. Do you wake up very early in the morning and you're jogging? Pastor Jerry has a routine of jogging every morning. You see that often. Every great person has a routine. Have a positive routine. Right? I have a lot of routines, and some of you have seen them. One is every first of the new month, I dance. How many of you have noticed that one? Okay? I come and just, no, and trust me, some of those 1st of January, sometimes they are the terrible days, but it doesn't matter what is happening. It is a new month. I must dance. Sometimes I'm with my agbada and I'm singing and I'm dancing. And sometimes I'm only giving you 2 minutes of a 1-hour dance, a 30 minutes dance, or sometimes I just listen to to amazing, positive songs that lift up my spirit. It's a routine. It's a routine. I have a routine of gratitude that if God, listen, if I do something for someone, whether they acknowledge it or not, that's their business. But if you do something for me, I'm going to tell the world. It's a routine. It's a routine. I'm not ashamed to thank people for what they've done for me. And it's a good one. Some of you, people will help you, right? You have some very archaic mentality. Don't let anybody know your helper. Are you kidding me? Really? Really? Who said so? Then the helper did not help you enough. Who did not know that it was Pharaoh that made Joseph prime minister? Will you answer me now? Who did not know? There are certain things we say that just don't hold. They just even no logical sense to it. Don't let anybody know. How will other people who have been thinking of helping you know that you are indeed a good person to help? Why? From your gratitude. Your ability to say, this person helped me. I learned this from this person. Let me tell you this. Every man or woman that has enjoyed favor are people who are willing to publicly acknowledge the good things God has done for them as a routine, publicly willing to acknowledge the good thing carnal men have done for them. Learn to be a grateful person. But again, it's a routine. So look for good routines. Sometimes the Holy Spirit will be the one to lay it in your heart. I'm not asking you to go and copy Ronaldo's routine or copy Steve Akita's routine. You can pray to the Lord and say, Lord, what are positive routines that you want me to start? Action Jackson has his own routine. Go to his page, you will see there, right? Speaking to kids, his time with his daughter, teaching her one thing or the other, or putting her behind his back while he's, doing some press-ups, right? That's a routine. Some people's routine is that they must take their children to the school every morning. It's a routine. That's one of Donald Trump's routine, by the way. Donald Trump, the same Donald Trump you don't like. That's why his children turn out well. They are not drug addicts. They are not, alcoholics and all of that. Donald Trump personally used to drop his children in school by himself. Right? It was his routine. You need to read more about that man. Again, some of us must learn not to generalize. Right? When everybody says somebody is bad, can you discover for yourself rather than taking popular opinion? In fact, I'm always opposite. While TDJX was alive, I had my issues about his methodology and his personality, and you never hear me comment TB Joshua for anybody. But as soon as BBC now started writing rubbish, at that point I became his defense. In fact, some people are just wondering why I just don't do things where everybody does it, right? And I query why somebody is already dead. And if you say he's a rapist and all of that, there is no way you can convict him of what you have said. And that's when you now want to release so-called documentary. And you are giving stories of, no, it was done some weeks before he died. They had to delay it. Those are all nonsense. Okay? Those are all nonsense as far as I'm concerned. So have a routine. And part of the routine could be, I will always check things before I do them. Part of the routine is that I will not judge everything by its cover. It's a routine. Part of a routine is I will go against the norm. I will not just do things the way everybody else is doing it. In 1 Corinthians 15:58, it says, therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourself fully to the works of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Working and volunteering in the house of the Lord. In fact, let me say this. one of the highest, and I dare say, highest form of service is volunteering, right? That even God respects. Whether that volunteering is in church or to a positive cause is one of the highest form of giving. It's one of the highest form of giving. And that's why great people are always looking for opportunity to serve. Great people are always looking for opportunity to serve. It's never about title. There's no entitlement in title. It's always, how do I serve? How do I commit to something good? How do I, how can I? Because you have to be committed to something bigger than you for you to have fulfillment. One of the major challenges people face in life is that they have money, but they are not fulfilled. One of the reasons why a lot of people always say, Dr. Stevie, one of the things I love about you is your boldness. Well, that boldness comes from the place of service. There's a way you serve the Lord. There's a way you serve humanity, right? And you have clear conscience and you just know, okay, that no man can bring you down. So be steadfast, be unmovable, focus on the right routines. The power of routine and consistent lifestyle lies in the positive impact they can have on various aspects of an individual's life. It's even one of the ways to overcome addiction. Establishing and maintaining healthy habits, regular schedule, consistent practice can contribute to physical well-being, mental health, productivity, and overall life satisfaction. It creates fulfillment when you have a routine. It helps you stay focused and not be distracted. Don't forget again, the only way the devil can get your joy is to get you distracted. So when you have regular routines, no matter what, and we're talking of things you do, whether you feel like it or not, it propels you towards the right direction. Number 3, on the billionaire codes, the mentorship code. Have you noticed that all our fathers in faith, right, had mentors? And one of the funny things about some of them, their mentors were not even people of faith. I'll mention, again, when I teach, it's quite different from, everybody else. So, and if you're not careful, you will know that, you will know that I'm preaching the gospel, right? And I say this oftentimes, those of you in the marketplace, you must know how to preach the gospel, right? Because the gospel is called the good news. Preach the good news. Once you are preaching the good news, you are preaching the gospel, right? So everything must not be, again, I keep saying it. Our pastors, though, we help all of our leaders in faith, but they need to help our people know that the way they are public about their faith is not the way every member can be public, right? And it's important to know that because you are not of this world, but you are in this world. And there's a way you go about your faith that just creates, instead of attracting people to God, it just leaves a bitter taste in people's mouths, right? Because the same you that we publicly dramatize that you're a Christian, speak in tongues, do Shekuru Baba, the same you, they will tell you, oh, how about so person? Sister, so I don't talk to her. I don't talk to her. I will never talk to her till I die. You are living in unforgiveness and you say you're a Christian. And the other party is looking at you and say, I'm not even speaking in tongues like you, but I'm very much forgiven. Right? You do Shokro Baba and all of that. And so let your fruit be what is attracting people to Christ. Let people see the way you comport yourself and say, I really have to know. There must be something about you. This thing you're doing is not normal. It's not ordinary. That's the way to be a Christian. Right? So the number 3, mentorship code. Do you know, ladies and gentlemen, that Moses' leadership mentor was not even a Jew? And this is part of where Christians miss it. I've seen Christians who say, I can never have a mentor aside my pastor. But I'm sorry, your pastor is not a businessman. And sometimes the business mentor you may find may be a Muslim. Oh, let me break the table. He might even be an homosexual. Okay? Okay? But as the business mentor, okay? As the business mentor. I remember having a meeting one day with a monarch in Dubai. And, as I came, it said, oh yeah, what do you drink? What do you drink? My friend who introduced us together, who owns the restaurant and bar, he was even the first that said, sorry, my friend doesn't drink. This was, So what am I saying? There is a way you comport yourself. People will respect your values. But yet, you don't now act. And this is where Christians have missed it. You see a whole monarch. He gives you attention. As I said, you are going to hell right now. Hell, hell. I can see hell all over you. With all these drinks you're taking, with all these women you are having, you're going to hell right now. Hell, hell. Lord have mercy. Okay. Lord have mercy. So that is not how it is done. You can have specific mentors in certain areas of your life, right? And of course, your spiritual mentor remain a very spiritual person. For those who know me, my spiritual mentor for over 20 years now is Bishop David Oyedepo. And I learn a lot from Reverend Sam, Pastor Podju, and several great men of God. I mean, I'm very close to Bishop Abiri as well, who is also one of my teachers over the years. Okay? But a lot of my business mentors, except for Dr. Cosmos Maduka, right, do not even believe Jesus is Lord. And even Dr. Cosmos, we hardly talk Bible, but business. That brought us together, really, when we meet, except in situations where there's a need to go and pray and for one thing or the other. But typically, just because I'm there, the relationship is to grow and learn from his wealth of wisdom in business, right? And not, how to go to heaven. So Christians have missed it in this area. And many of us have struggled. I struggled for years. For years, I told everybody, I don't need anybody except Oyedepo. I don't need nobody. But I realized that my business kept struggling, right? Until I then made up my mind, I will look for people who are very successful in business. I will ignore, and that's why for you to get mentorship, you must be mature though. I want us to pray. Lord, help my maturity this year. Come on, everybody. I said this in a church in Houston. The pastor asked me to come and pray for his people, right? And I said the same thing. I said, this year, some of you want to be rich and you want to break out from poverty. But the people God will send to you will not look like it. And if you're not careful, and that's what God was telling Peter, okay, why are you calling certain things unclean? Right? And do you know, some people say that without that encounter with the Ethiopian eunuch, Africa will not have known Jesus today. And that was what the Holy Spirit was trying to tell Peter. And say, okay, this one is unclean. This one is this. Me, Peter, I'm like Jesus. I'm only sent to the Jews. right? And the mission is bigger than that. It's bigger than that. You are an undercover cop for Jesus, right? And you might not even know that the same mentor that is teaching you business is watching your other life. And one day we call you and say, you know what? The way your marriage is balanced, there must be something. You two, you come and mentor me in marriage. Or the way you are fulfilled. I see the joy. There's always joy on your inside. I've been mentoring for 10 years now. Can you come and teach me something? That's really how it's done. People like Dr. John Maxwell, people like Reverend Sam. And, one of the reasons why at some point many of them, reduce their, leadership, even in the churches. A lot of people don't know that John Maxwell was a pastor. If you go to John Maxwell Church that he's founded in Atlanta, you'll be shocked. The man resigned and went into leadership because he discovered that the four walls of the pulpit was limiting him. And today, if you know how many Arabs have become Christians because of Dr. John Maxwell, leaders who at some point after breaking down leadership system, they will say there's a dimension they need. You say, well, this one only God can give down. And if you're interested, I can lead you to Christ. And that's what we're saying. Let your fruit show, not your, trying to harass people that you are the only saint. Everybody else is a sinner and they are going to hell. You are the only one going to heaven. Christianity is a personal walk with God. It is not a popularity contest. Let me repeat that again. Christianity is a personal walk with God. It's not a popularity contest. Let me say it again. Christianity is a personal work with God, not a popularity contest. In the end, it's you and God. It's not you and deaconess. It's not you and pastor. Many of us are too busy with what will pastor say, that we are not asking, what will Jesus say? What will my maker say? Right? And that's why people at the level of John Maxwell had to pull out from pastoring and say, it is limiting. Right? Before you know it, the day you see me with one shake, you start complaining. The day you see me with one person, you start complaining. I know how many people say, oh yeah, with Daddy Freeze. Oh, is Daddy Freeze not human? The fact that he attacked some pastors or the church, he knows my position. Right? And I've told him many times. Okay? And I know how many pastors, some people don't even know, that Daddy Freeze will reach out to me and say, I saw this. What do you think about this? I'll be like, this person is a genuine person. Or just leave him alone. Now, if everybody decides to say, we're all fighting Daddy Freeze, or every Christian in Nigeria, we are all of us, you don't even understand strategy. Must everybody fight someone? Part of smart strategies, there is the friend, there is the bad cop, and there's the good cop. Right? The man is, and many of you have not even handled leadership role in churches that Daddy Freeze handled before he started fighting the system that he was in. And I keep saying this, when we see brethren who are victims of the politics in church, rather than figuring out a way, because love always wins at the end of the day. And that's what Jesus preaches. Love wins. Love wins. Everybody say love wins. Because some of these people who come and talk against pastors, against churches, if you know how committed many of them have been in the same church, they have been more committed than you. Right? Many just felt when they saw the politics side of church, right? I'll give you an example. You've seen me always shout Bishop Oyedepo, Bishop Oyedepo. Of my 20 years, learning under Bishop Oyedepo when it comes to spiritual things, at least I've spent over 12 being in the same local church as Bishop, sitting behind, where he sits. And I can tell you that I have been 10 feet from Bishop. It's not up to 5 times in that 12 years. Right? Only maybe once or twice was it even passing. Because many of you don't even know there's a decent level of gap you need to give between you and your pastor if you respect him. And we're still talking of mentorship code. And this even covers mentors. There's a healthy gap you must keep between you and your mentor so that familiarity doesn't rob you of what you are to learn from your mentors. Are we learning here now? Are we learning? Okay? There is a what? A healthy gap. Healthy gap. Else, you get sucked into church politics, and the same Jesus you've been professing, suddenly we're seeing you say something else. So I have learned that over time with even my own spiritual leaders. I leave a healthy gap because suddenly you see another side of your so-called man of God and say, hey, if this is this person, I don't believe again. There is no perfect mentor. Can we all type it? There is no perfect mentor. Okay? Come on, everybody type it. There's no perfect mentor. Which is why some of you see me being vulnerable. I've seen people even on social media just wonder that, is Dr. Stephen okay? And I do it intentionally because I realize that we've said these fake lies about people, right? There's this fake, narrative we've given about how people are to be. We're all working towards perfection. Nobody's perfect. So intentionally, I put out my imperfection. Intentionally. Right? So that you are not surprised by anything. Intentionally. Intentionally. I am a very firm, strict person. So when you come to my social media, I'm not going to pretend that I don't know how to give good answers, savage answers to stupid questions, just so that you like me. Right? You ask me stupid question, I will let you know that you don't have monopoly of stupidity. I can also give you a stupid reply. And sometimes, if that now means because of that, I'm not suited to be your mentor, that's your business. You are the one losing. You are the one losing, not me. Because I'm not going to give you this fake, perfect mentor that many of us always think. And that's why you have lost and you are the one losing. Stop waiting for a perfect mentor. Pick what you need to pick. Run with it. You know what you saw in the person that you admire. Stick to that. You know the strength. Do you think Kenneth Hagin is perfect? Or Kenneth Copeland is perfect? The people you see shout these people's name. Some of them have come so close enough, but they still give them the honor. Even Kenneth Copeland was at some point pilot or a robot. So he could see so in depth. But maturity as a believer is to come close enough, but still be full of humility, honor, and respect. When I meet people, I never forget this, because some of you may later have the, who knows? I don't know how God works things, right? Of being close to me or meeting me one-on-one. Most of you here, I've never met you before. The first thing I will do is to be vulnerable with you intentionally. And I will look at whether you will take me for granted. It's a rule. It's a rule. If I then notice you are taking the vulnerability, the humility for granted, then I lock up. Now you will know it was a privilege to have gotten that level of access to me. Right? It was a privilege. So we must learn this. And particularly those of us who are sanguine by personality type, is something you must learn. Sometimes because you are cheerful, people, open their doors to you. Intentionally let them see that you are not taking them for granted. Intentionally show them that, there's so much honor, there's so much respect, there's so much appreciation. I am not taking this relationship for granted. Keep letting them see it. That, I respect this. And that's why sometimes one of the ways to do that is to come with gifts. I hardly go to any of my mentors without a gift. I just don't want to do it. Because for me, as a rule, I just want to show you that I cherish every single moment with you. I cherish every opportunity. Okay? Malcolm. Malcolm said I learned the hard way. Malcolm, you are not the only one. Okay? You know me, I give it straight. So there are people who will bear witness to what I just told you. Okay? I knew Malcolm from nowhere. Nowhere. And he got so much access to me, and I took it for granted. I helped him. He was shocked. Right? So trust me. And I'm being honest with you, because these things I'm teaching you, they don't say it. All these great mentors, they won't tell you. You just notice he's not picking your call again. You just notice, I don't know whether you understand, he's not giving you access again. And you'll be wondering, what did I do? Where did I go wrong? Okay? Did I, what did I miss? You'll be wondering. Okay? You'll be wondering. But they felt you took them for granted. I'm telling you, they felt you took the relationship for granted. So I'm even more scared when people honor me, when mentors honor me. I'm like, hey, Lord, help me. Right? Help me. I must not take this relationship for granted. So all of you are shouting, I didn't get a mentor. I don't have a mentor. Sir, you have gotten some people. You took them for granted. So much that you couldn't even learn from them. And we have a very arrogant generation. Young people today, nobody can teach you. Nobody is perfect. Can you imagine? Some of you call me mentor. The quickest opportunity to criticize me on social media, you are the first to jump on it. I mean, if I'm your mentor, where's my honor? Where's the honor? Okay, where is the honor? You are the first to jump. You are the first to jump. Okay, and you said the person, you honor the person. Like, where, I don't know where the honor is. Because I have defended Bishop Oyedepo so many times that I never confided in him before I went to I just, in my mind, I have been in this man. I listen to this man twice. I sit under him twice a week. Right? I know him better than these people saying nonsense. Okay? What is his perspective on this? And I will just give it. In many cases, at the end of the story will then turn out to end up being what I have said. That is the proof of, that you've honored them now. Okay? All this, my mentor, my mentor. You cannot even defend the mentor. You cannot. You just say, Moyeri. Right? The day they are saying rubbish about your mentor, I dodge him. Okay? And then later, my mentor, Malachi 1:6. A son honoreth his father, and a servant his master. If then I be a father, where is my honor? And if I be a master, where is my fear? Saith the Lord of hosts unto you, O priest, that despise my name. And ye say, where have we despised thy name? So show honor. If people, and I'm not asking you to defend what is undefendable. That's not what I'm saying. Okay? I'm just saying this day of social media where people just drag people, right? There are certain things that you could, at least stand on for whoever you claim, you love, you respect, and that they are mentors. Remember ultimately that they are not perfect. So even when I defend mentors, I always reiterate that part, that they are not perfect. That you also are coming here to talk as though you are a saint. Many of these people are far, far more disciplined than you that you are criticizing them. Okay? So you want to be able to defend in a very objective, balanced way. And you also want to do that without being vulgar. I see people just use vulgar. Your head is not correct. So you've not made a sentence. They mad. You've not made a sentence. Okay? You've not made a sentence. Right? So we must learn to, and I think many of us need to learn it as believers. How do you give people koboko, like they say, without using vulgar words? I'm good at that. It's one of the gifts of the Spirit that I got. Right? I can literally like whoop you very well. And you can't even see where I say, yeah, you dey mad, you dey crazy, you even see that. Right? And you will feel it so well. Right? You will feel it. You will know this man just flogged me. Okay? So you have to be able to make such intelligent conversations. Right? Such intelligent conversations. But it's important because many of you have been shouting, how do I get mentors? Oh, I got mentor, but at some point I lost them. These were the missing link, and I pray God will help us. Lastly, stop expecting people to mentor you for free. There are two ways for you to attract mentors. Either you pay or you serve. Either you pay or you serve. A lot of business mentors don't really have books. A lot of business. I have books on all of this. All of these things I'm teaching you is from this book now. Someone say, write book I will buy. The book is here. This is the book. Billionaire Codes and Billionaire Habits. That's what we're treating. Right? It's there. So either you pay for mentorship or you serve. Now, so what I noticed that there are certain people who don't have like a mentorship program. They don't have it. Right? So such people, service is the way to. Any day you just have an opportunity to have proximity with them, right? You just go ahead and seek for opportunity to serve. Action Jackson is one of those people. And by the way, a lot of the people who have been anchoring this event is part of the reason we brought them, because they are practical testimonies of what we're saying. Action Jackson met me once, right? In his church. I came to preach for his pastor, Pastor Toby Arayom. He's going to be training also in the course of this event. And I think he then reached out to me at some point. I was in London, that he would like to anchor an event for us. I immediately, and I don't like getting things for free. So, and when people say they want to volunteer like that, I know they want some form of mentorship. So I remember inviting him to my hotel, and we got talking, right? And, gave a few tips about what he's doing. And from there, before you know it, the man said he anchored the London event, and he heard I'm doing my book tour to US. I thought it was a joke. Oh. Guys, you won't believe it. He bought his flight ticket, his hotel. I flew to US. I joined me to tour. I sometimes felt like, oh, Jesus, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. Okay, I cannot believe this one. There's some things people do with me that I'm saying, are you sure this is a wise decision? Right? Are you sure? You need to keep your money. Doesn't make sense. And then we come, anchor the event, play music. I hope he will play that song for you guys today, right? And then play songs and that's how he's just endeared himself to me. I hardly can get him out of anything I'm doing since that time. But that is the secret. So all this, they are not mentoring me. They are not willing to mentor me. All these big people, all these rich people, they don't like to support younger people. The fact that they've not helped you does not mean they are not helping people. And we need to stop this social media selfishness. And I see it over and over and over again. The fact that somebody hasn't helped you does not mean it's not helping people. The fact that he didn't put it on social media does not mean it's not helping people. Right? I see sometimes people raise it. And what I also notice, the day we then also put it on social media, guess what everybody starts saying? Well, are you trying to impress people? And the Bible says, let your left hand not know what your right hand is doing. What do you want us to do, people? What do you want us to do? What do you want us to do? Okay? The Bible says in Proverbs 27:17, iron sharpeneth iron. So a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. And that's why mentorship is critical. Because in the place of mentorship, what then happens is that your mentor is able to sharpen you, is able to help you to get better. He's not better than you. In many cases, you may end up becoming bigger than your mentor. In fact, that's usually the prayer. So this is not about somebody being better than the other, but this is about just understanding that some people have gone ahead and it is wisdom to learn from them. We're not hero worshiping, and I see a lot of, there's just a way we twist things in this day of social media, and we just make everything look so bad. It's, oh, they're hero worshiping, right? I don't know. I don't think so, right? Nothing is wrong celebrating people. Africa lack hero. And you know why we lack hero? Because we have refused to celebrate the heroes we have. So people are not encouraged to do the right thing. Okay? People are what? Are not encouraged to do the right thing. You know why? Because they have not seen a conscious intention to celebrate others who have done well. People have asked themselves questions like, why should I, be faithful doing the right thing? Because there were other people who have been faithful, they were helping people, and at the end of the day, what did they get out of it? Do you know that was also what some people felt with the TB Joshua story? A lot of people felt, so after you use your life to help the poor, you provide housing for them, you provide things for them. In future, they then eventually accuse you of things. So let's stop discouraging people doing good, right? Don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. As soon as you mention somebody's fault, also mention their strength. It's just fair. Let's always balance things. To sit down and only focus on the weakness and just go ranting is not wise. So let's look at what mentoring composes of. Training. So if you say you are looking for a mentor, you are looking for a trainer. Okay? If you say you're looking for a mentor, you're looking for a coach. A coach is different from mentoring. Coaching is just somebody asking you a question and making yourself figure out the answer. Mentoring is 50-50. So a mentor gives you his opinion 50% and gets your opinion 50%. But in coaching, it's almost a 90-10. Sometimes almost 100. He's just asking you questions. You keep throwing the word. That's the difference. Because sometimes people say, what's the difference between coaching and mentoring? There's a difference. In coaching, you are not putting your opinion as much. You want the person to figure it out themselves. Right? So at a higher level, that's why they use the word coaching at a higher level. Because you also want to be conscious of their own ego, right? And so you don't want to go into do this, correct this, correct this. So at that point, you're like, so what do you think about this? So you've got, yes, I know you came to me for answer, but what is in your own heart as to the solution to this? So as your mentees grow, you kind of reduce a bit because you want them to also tax their brain, right? To think deeper on issues. Direction. So a mentor, is able to give you some form of direction when you lack one. A mentor gives you support. So I've had situations where people are mentees to me and they've done some things bad. Maybe they did business, they made losses, and they reach out. Yes, the person made a mistake, but that's not the reason for me to cast the person away. It's not a reason. I remember one time a gentleman, did business, people invested with him, lost everything. And he reached out to me and I hosted him for breakfast. In fact, the day I hosted him for breakfast, he said, I just got released from EFCC last night. And of course, I counseled him. I invited him for my event. I acknowledged him in public. That's what mentoring does, right? The mentor is not denying that the person make mistakes, but we all make mistakes. We are not perfect. But the mentor is saying, if I remember telling, I said, have a meeting with all your investors. I don't mind personally coming to beg all of them to give you some time, right? So that you can come back. We're human. At the end of the day, we make mistakes. And that's part of what you need from a mentor, support. He will correct you, he will cane you, he will rebuke you, but he will not leave you alone, right? Particularly if you're humble about it. What do mentors also do? What do you get from mentorship? It's also goal setting. A mentor helps you to set goals, okay? Guide you around goal setting, right? Help you to look at your goals, help you to clarify your goals, advise you on how to realign your goals to fulfill certain right objectives. Okay? What do you get from mentoring? Advice, motivation. Oh, I get loads of this from my mentoring. Right? My last session with Dr. Cosmos, and I know he intentionally did it because he knew I have this US project. It's going to cost us, we're going to take between 5 to 7 years. It's going to cost about, 100 to 150 million to complete the over 400,000 we're doing in the US. And he knows I am worried about the scale, and I'm quite bothered about how huge the project is. And what did he do? He motivated me. Started telling me about project he's currently doing. Oh, we're doing this one, $120 million. At the end of the day, the project should be, at least is the first phase is 120. Then it's going to expand. So ultimately, probably to end at $500 million. This other project, what was he doing? He's motivating me, right? Because, and I want you to write this down. The step of a giant is a marathon for a dwarf. Okay? A step of a giant, okay, is a marathon for a dwarf. So when you are with mentor, they intentionally tell you about project they are doing, not to brag. And you better learn it. Write it down today. When a mentor tells you about what they are doing, it is not to brag. It is to help you to run. It's to motivate you towards dreaming bigger, dreaming better. It's to encourage you. It's to remove fear. Anytime I sit with my mentors, the fear of running a big project dies. And I say to myself, the highest is that we will lose, we will learn, and we'll move forward. That's the highest. The highest will fail. And I want to beg spiritual leaders who are watching this show, stop discouraging your members from losing. Failure is part of success. There's a way pastors will preach as if failure is against covenants. I don't understand. Dying on the cross of Calvary looked like a failure. It was a temporary setback for a bigger comeback. That's what, in fact, that's what Jesus dying on the cross was all about. Let me say that again. The death of Jesus on the cross is to prove to us that a temporary setback is an opportunity for a comeback. So when you preach in church, and I hope we have, spiritual leaders watching, and we need to, that's why a lot of Christians are not doing business. We've scared them. Even the way we teach, even the way, how many of you know that when people fail in business in church,
When you ask their pastor, you know the first thing he say, I want him, I want him, I want him, I want him. Failure is normal. Failure is the pathway to success. Everybody type it. Failure is the pathway to success. Failure is the pathway to success. Failure is okay. Just fail fast, fail quick. You will learn and you get better. The faster you, let me be honest with you. Some of us, it looks as if we don't fail. Let me tell you the secret. We failed before social media became popular. That's why. So we had failed so much that eventually when we figured out where we're missing it, it was now like a rocket that can't turn back. That's why you saw me type yesterday in my article that Stephen Akita did not jump up. He grew up. And when you grow up, you will stay there. You stay up. Because you failed, you've learned, you failed, you've learned, you failed, you've learned, you failed, you've learned. After a while, you figure it out. Right? You now know how to even manage those failures. And a few of those setbacks are better managed. That's all. But every great man or woman has failed. Everyone who has succeeded have failed. Stop mocking people. You don't know tomorrow. Stop sitting down and claiming, see how the person failed, see how this. No, you don't know tomorrow. You don't know tomorrow. I heard Pastor Podju sharing this, was it 2 Sundays ago? How many people in those days used to wonder, oh, his ministry did not grow on time. His ministry did not grow on time. Today now, see how Pastor Podju is just spreading everywhere. In 1 year, I've never seen that kind of growth. In 1 year, Canada, UK, everywhere. Because you need to take root downward before you bear fruit upwards. Everybody type it. I, Stephen Akita, need to take root downwards so that I can bear fruit upwards. I, Stephen Akita, need to take root downwards. So usually when you plant a seed, the first thing that grows is the root before the leaf starts shooting up. So you have to go down. You have to go down. And that's what Jesus was talking about. He that must save his life must lose it. You must die before you rise. Okay? So those people you call successful people today died first. They lost first. They made mistakes. So failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the pathway to success. Please, don't ever forget this quote. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the pathway to success. If Thomas Edison had given up on the light bulb because he failed once, twice, up to 99 times, and when they told him you failed, he said, I didn't fail, I just learned how not to do it. That's somebody who understood that failure was the pathway to success. So I'm begging leaders, let me tell you this. You know why we have not produced Elon Musk? You know why? We have not given people the audacity to fail enough. You know how many rocket launches failed before the one that he now got right? When you are doing, I don't even understand whether people get it. The whole SpaceX project is that you start the project from day one, knowing that you will test at least 20 rockets that will not work. Is the pathway to getting the one that will work. That's how you start rocket business. That's how you start rocket business. But if that were to be done in Nigeria, first of all, and you know how expensive those rockets were. Average, that is not expensive at all. It's $100 million. That is not expensive. Then the thing will crash. You know how social media will have. But when we now see the guy say, Elon Musk, that's why, you see, it's the deliverance that need to be done on the black race is much. And I'm not talking of deliverance of laying hands. I'm talking of mental one. Mental one. Because I'll give an example. If let's give a typical example, and I want all of you to be honest with me. Just be honest, and I want your answer. Just be very honest with me. Let's assume Tony Lumelu decide to launch a rocket. You know, we have not been doing that in Nigeria, which means we'll remain consumer. As I speak to you in my house now, we're using Starlink from Elon Musk. So we continue to remain consumers. Meanwhile, our own billionaires, let's assume one of them, Dangote Lumelu, decides to say, oh, you know, I'm going to be like Elon Musk. I want to launch our own African first space station. We're going to do that. The day they start the first test, and then the thing crash, and people read that it was $100 million of investment money that just crashed, and that they will now build it again with another $200 million. Please be honest. What will you say? I want everybody to comment now. Because it's easy to shout, oh, Elon Musk. Oh, Elon Musk. Why haven't we produced our own Elon Musk? I'm the answer now. Oh, yeah, type. 100 million. First question you hear is that with all the hunger going on in Nigeria, is it 100 million? In fact, some people will tell you, if you divide that 100 million, first of all, change it to Naira, then go to every Nigerian, right? And give them, in fact, some will calculate it to the point of this 100 billion naira will give an average Nigerian household 5 million. That's how some people calculate it. Meanwhile, the research has been shown that if all the richest people in the world decide to give their money to the poor, it's a matter of few years, the money will come back to them because the poor will still go and use it to patronize them. Because the poor will still use the money for consumption, while the rich will use their money for what? For production. So all the rich people divide their money now, give everybody 50 million naira. As long as, what do? You go and, I just told you a story now, true story. A young man, the father built wealth, even though he didn't get it the right way. The man died. The children sold all the property. One of the child sold his house, made about over 5 billion, and went to rent. Don't you understand? Now, does it make sense to you? You sold your father's house. Is it not even wisdom to now say, okay, let me take out of this 5 billion, right? Let me buy a 3-bedroom, you know, in maybe Lekki, or let me buy a 5-bedroom Lekki with, let's even say 500 million. I still have 4.5 billion. I can then use that, but he did not even think of owning something. So give this gentleman the next 3 years. He's lost every single thing. Everything. Because he's thinking consumption, not production. And let me explain to you what will have been the effect if a Dangote or Tony Lumelu decide to own a space station and decide, okay, to launch his own satellite and have his own rocket going to moon, to Mars. What will have happened? Let me tell you the implication. Number one of what will happen. There will be foreign direct investment to a point and to a degree that this whole Naira crashing will stop, even from just satellite and space station owned by an African. Because what will happen is that, you know, he will start deploying that services all over the world, and he will need to repatriate the money back to Africa where he's based. And that keeps strengthening your currency. Do you know that that will create so much job and help poor people in the villages? So what this will mean is that people who are farm, even in Sambisa forest, now can have access to it, to internet. They don't need a mast. Do you know it will end criminality? It will end terrorism. Because from those space stations and those satellites, they can see real time the terrorist. But we can't see it because even we are mentored to think consumption. Even when we talk, we are talking consumption. Somebody say poor means permanent obstruction of reasoning. Okay, lastly, what do mentors do for you? Success. Okay, a mentor eventually help you to succeed. Can everybody shout, I will get a mentor in 2024? Come on, everybody type it. I will get a mentor in 20. Please, let somebody not say Nigerian government will not let it happen. Okay? The largest refinery, single chain refinery in the world now is owned by a Nigerian, Dangote. Okay? Why didn't they stop him? A lot of us love to exaggerate, how government stops people in Africa. Government have their weaknesses in Africa. They don't support you as an entrepreneur. Okay, but not the type of entrepreneur that can afford to own a space station and to send and to have his own satellite. Not that kind of entrepreneur. There's nothing Dangote want to do that the Nigerian government will stop him on. There's nothing Tony Elumelu want to do. Right? At that level, trust me, that's not how it works. So please stop thinking limitations. Having a mentor can be incredibly valuable in personal and professional development. A mentor is typically someone with more experience or an expertise who provide guidance, support, advice to a less experienced individual, known as a mentee. Okay? Time management. Anyone that does not respect your time does not respect your life. Okay? The first most important thing in your life is your time. Manage it well. When I give you money, I'm not bothered. But if I give you time and you squander it, I'm hot. A lot of time when I meet mentees who have messed up, okay, and I've had to, create some decent gap between me and them. You know what hurts me the most is the time I spent with them. Is the fact that out of my busy schedule, I created time for these people. Right? I could have spent that time with my children. I have children to die for. Amazing children. My kids love me to pieces. Right? There's always a competition in my house between my wife and my kids. Right? We want to see daddy. It's almost as if my wife is hiding me from them. And my wife is saying, look, I need to have my own time with my husband. Right? My husband met me before you people. Right? So I could have given all that time to my wonderful, lovely family. But that's if I don't even have what to do. But when a man gives you his time, spends quality time with you, you need to respect it. And I think time management starts from respecting your own time. Let me tell you how I know you respect your time. You always come early. You don't do African time. You don't do lateness. That's one of the proof that you respect your own time. You will keep to time. You'll come early as a sign that you respect your time. So if you value your own time, you will value other people's time. You will not waste and disrespect their time. So the beginning of wealth creation starts with what? Time management. The beginning of becoming a billionaire starts with what? Time management. What do you do with your time? Are you investing it or you are squandering it? A lot of people have squandered their time watching movies. It's good to watch movies. I watch movies. In fact, there are few movies I've not watched. One of the ways I relax, I go to cinemas. But how can you spend 2 hours? I said 2 hours. How can you spend? Yeah, I see people who spend 2 hours every day watching movies. Some people 4 hours every day watching movies. Some people say they are watching series. Right? and put in 6 hours to watch a series. That's your life wasting away. That's your life. Some other people, it's not series that they are wasting, right? It's sleeping. So if I don't sleep 10 hours, I'm not okay. You are not rehearsing that. If you sleep 8 hours a day, by the time you are 75, you slept for 25 years. I'm not asking you not to sleep. Don't get me wrong. But just so that you understand, if you sleep 8 hours a day, by the time you are 75, you slept for 25 years of your life. If you are not rehearsing that, that tells you something. Okay? My average sleep is 5 hours. Sometimes, since this conference began, I don't get up to that. Sometimes I then take nap, an hour or an hour and a half. Because I've been doing average of 3 hours sleep since this conference began. Right? So in the afternoon, I take a nap of an hour, 30 minutes, and I'm good. And I'm not dead. And my medulla oblongata is working well. And I'm healthy. Okay? I do my regular medical checkup. I'm fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's understand this. Because some of us want to become rich, want to become wealthy, and yet you want to be doing 8 hours a day. Thank you. Somebody said that's 9 to 5 already. When you watch movie for 6 hours, you've already done your 9 to 5. A lot of us, and I've seen people say they don't like me. You know, one of the things that I get angry about when I hear is the attitude of Christians in the workplace. I don't like it. A lot of Christians, not everyone, but a lot. You hear a Christian, it has happened to me before, and I fired the person. This particular employer and I go to the same church. As at that time, I was actively a pastor. I even have a branch that I was pastoring, a zone that I was pastoring. This was just member. We were in the office. We had work to do. The member dare come to me, to my office, and say, I'm going to church. Well, and I fired her. Let the church start paying your salary. Okay? We must bring excellence to the marketplace. We must bring excellence to the marketplace. Where in the Bible did you hear that Joseph left Potiphar's work and say, you know, I am going to pray? Where did you hear such? Where in the Bible did you hear that Daniel, okay, left official assignment and said he was going to pray? No. What the Bible says is that they knew the time Daniel always prayed, and they know he will pray. And they now said, you must no longer pray to another God except the king. And that's where Daniel said, that one won't happen. Right? If you like, put me inside Asheda, Meshach, all of them. So if you like, put us inside fire. We will worship God. But it was not in any record, because Daniel served so many kings, that during the time that they are supposed to have executive council meeting, during the time they were supposed to plan for the country, and in fact, that was why Daniel lasted many kings, because he was excellent in his place of work. He was an exceptional, the result he was bringing was exceptional. It was just exceptional. So for you to be a Christian and you have a job and you are not giving excellent service, and every day all you are just saying is that they are using me, they are using me, they are using me, that is not how to be a Christian. That's not how to be a Christian. That's where time management comes in. Plan your life, plan your time, such that you'll be able to have quality time with God, and you'll be able to also deliver exceptionally at work. Let me tell you this powerful secret. It is discovered that nobody rises in any organization to the position of a CEO of Fortune 500 company doing 8 hours a day at work. It's believed that all of them had to put in between 10 to 14 hours every day. Some even do 16 hours. That's how they rose in their place of work. So this is why you then see, and people will now say, they are marginalizing me because I'm a Christian. They are cheating me because I'm a Christian. That's not true. What is the result you are generating in that company? How have you should by now have help them to open multiple subsidiaries with the divine ideas the Holy Spirit will put in your heart. You said you're a Christian, born again, tongue speaking. The company is going down. Their revenue is going down. You did not go and consult the Holy Spirit on ideas. Don't you know that those who are worshiping Ogun do consult the oracle? They go meet Ifa and say, Ifa, how do we make our organization? And that's why sometimes it then looks as if you call them unbelievers. They do better. They are more loyal. They are more faithful in the place of work. And they are being promoted. That's why, if you like, call me anything you want to call me. You can never get a job in any GTEX holdings based on your religion, based on your tribe, based on your culture. In fact, our Dubai office had more Muslims. Christianity was minority in our Dubai office. Christians were minority. It was about what you bring to the table. What did you expect? It's an Islamic country. There were more Muslims than Christians. So I should now begin to cherry pick. Are you a Christian? If you're a Christian, we'll give you the job. This is how we kill organizations. This is how we destroy. You are a light of the world, not a light of the church. Go ye out into the world. Make impact. Change lives. That's how you do it. So it is an insult on Calvary to be a mediocre employee. It's an insult. You should so much display professionalism, excellence, right? That everybody say, no wonder she's a Christian. No wonder. No wonder. I know many people, when they eventually get to know the church I go to, no wonder. Now I see why he's getting that result. He's doing it after his mentor. That's how it should be. Not that at the end of the day, you say, but she says she's a Christian, right? She's always coming late to work. She's the first to carry her Bible, claiming she's going. Don't you see even most of the movies they do now? How they portray Christians, that they are the one to come late to work. They are the first to carry their bag, saying they are going to church. Haven't you noticed the movies? That has to change. That has to change. Everybody shouts, I am changing this year. Now you tell me they are using you. They are using you. If they are using you, then go and start your own company and see how well. And let's see whether you won't use other people. I'm not even going to argue. You say, in this company, they are using me. They are using me. I won't even argue with you. You go and start your own company and let's see how you will not use anybody. Abi, let's know. Because I don't even understand how you mean they are using you. As long as somebody pay you, we are aware that nobody can pay you what you deserve. That's just the truth. Nobody can even pay any mortal man. Because if you understand what God put into creating man, you will know that no mortal man can pay you your worth, no matter how much salary they are paying you. So we don't go to work for money. I don't go to work for money. The excellence I put to my work, the passion I used to work is not for money. You can see how much effort I'm having to sleep 3 hours every day since this conference began just to teach you guys, and you didn't pay me a dime. That tells you the culture of a good Christian. Excellence is our second name. Excellence is our second name. It has nothing to do with whether we get paid well or not. We just cannot be mediocres. Our culture is to be excellent. That's who our Father is. That's who Jesus is. Our Maker, our Lord and Savior is an excellent man. So it's our nature. Can we all type, I am going to be excellent in 2027? I will give more value than I get. And I shared in this book, and don't forget this quote. Poor people are paid for time. Rich people are paid for results. Poor people are paid for time. Rich people are paid for results. If you want to be rich, stop asking people to pay you for time. Base your remuneration on results. Can I say that again? If you want to be rich, stop asking people to pay you time for your time. Ask them to pay you based on your results. I'm into real estate. One of the easiest way to get good land, all right, in Africa is to do something we call sponsorship. A family will call you together and say, Dr. Stephen, we have this land. The government is trying to take the land from us. We need you to sponsor the survey and the C of O. For every 1 acre, we'll give you 1 plot. For every 1 acre, we'll give you 1 plot. So typically, they may have 100 hectares. Ladies and gentlemen, suddenly you have 10 hectares, that's 25 acres. And if you now decide to, even in the agreement, there will be a clause there also that you will buy more also at the current rate they want to be selling it. So before you know, out of the 100 hectares, you now own 50 hectares. That's how we got rich. We were not paid for time, we were paid for results. And what happens is that if we fail in getting the C of O, we lose all the money we have put in, everything's gone. But if we get the C of O, we can, from just one single deal, make a profit of 100 billion. If you want to destroy poverty, you can read more about it in the Billionaire Code. If you want to destroy poverty, stop asking to be paid for time. Ask to be paid for results. When you meet people, tell them, can we do partnership? I know, I understand you want to pay me per hour. I get it. I got it. You know, those of you in diaspora, you know, I got it. Per hour. And I say all of you, all your power that you've been doing for 30 years, where is it taking you to? You know, I got to be paid per hour. You know, my hour is the ultimate, is the straight road that leads to poverty. Pay per hour. Okay? Wealthy people are not paid per hour. They are paid for results. So they say, because when you shift the conversation to results, they are ready to give you more. But if you are saying, oh, whether I do well, I don't do well, just pay me, then they reduce the money. But when you base it on, okay, pay me when I get result, more is given. Effective time management is a key factor in the success of individuals across various fields. Successful people often excel at managing their time wisely, allowing them to maximize productivity, achieve their goal, and maintain a balanced and fulfilled life. Okay? Psalm 90, verse 12. So teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom. Right? And so God is telling us to learn to number our days. Number our days, number our days, number our days. It's still about time management. It's still about, reflections, right? Okay, as we start wrapping up, giving code. Giving code. The philosophy of generosity and contributing positively to others is rooted in the belief that individuals and communities thrive when there is a collective spirit of giving and support. This philosophy emphasizes selflessness, empathy, and the recognition of interconnectedness of all people. One of my biggest secrets is giving. And guess when I give the most? When I'm broke. My philosophy is that as long as the money is not enough, then it's a seed. When the money is not enough, then it's a seed. When do you sow? When do you sow? When you need an harvest. So who should sow? Somebody who wants an harvest. Right? I am yet to meet a billionaire that is not a giver. I'm yet to meet one. They may not make noise about it. Most of them do what we call institutional giving. For example, Warren Buffett is one of the highest donors to Bill Gates. How many of you know? If you know, type I know. If you don't know, type I don't know. So the fact that Warren Buffett does not have Warren Buffett Foundation and then goes up and down like Bill Gates is doing and say, oh, we're donating this, we're helping people with this, and we're doing this. That does not mean he's not a giver. And that's where we miss it. And Africans are busy trying to help people analyze their money. Why you not make your own money and then spend it the way you want? Right? Stop helping me analyze my own money. And I see some of you do it on social media. Can you stop? I will give the way I want. It's my own money. You make your own money and give it the way you want. Oh, Dr. Stephen, can you remember these people? Dr. Stephen, can you give to this set of people? It is my money, okay? And I spend it how I want. You make your own money and do it in a different way. Do it in a different way. But all the richest people I've seen in my life are givers. Committed givers. Dangerous givers. There's nothing I can't give. It's my wife that will tell you. I am a dangerous giver. So you wonder why I'm going up. I am a dangerous giver. There's nothing I cannot give. Right? In fact, I had to help myself by now putting structures around my money. Else, I have given it before I even remember that I just emptied my account. You must build a giving culture. What I have learned, however, is that many of us do not budget our giving. 2 Corinthians 9:7. Every man, according to as he has purposed in his heart, so let him give, not grudgingly or of necessity, for God loveth a cheerful giver. What is he saying? First of all, as you have proposed, not as they have emotionally psyched you to do. All this stuff I see, so 10,000, and then you reap 10 million. My God is not a robber. My God is not a kalu man. My God is not doing gambling. According to as you have proposed in your heart, give cheerfully, not grudgingly. How many of you have noticed this? And I want your reply on this. That the same Christians that will not give to widows, the same Christians that will not give to orphanage, the same Christians that will not give to neighbors that are struggling, will empty their accounts after listening to a sermon that promises them, and the pastor say, last year, God laid it in my heart that somebody needed to sow 1 million, and he sold the 1 million. And trust me, these pastors may not even be lying. I just told you a story. A gentleman came for my training, and I'm not doing pastoring or pastoring churches. And he said I should pray for him and his wife, and wrote on a piece of paper that will give me 50,000. Well, even if he gave the money, I couldn't even remember, because I have my executive assistant that handle all those things. Only to come back 3 years later that he now owns more than 10 estates and has sold over 3 billion. So those things work. And don't get me wrong. But what I'm trying to say is that if truly giving is the intentions, it's not only after listening to a message where pastor have told you, if you sow this, some people sow this, they got this. That's when your body is now itching to give. If you truly give because you love God, if you truly give because you understand it's an act of worship, then you will take your time and plan your giving. This one will be for church. This one will be for widows. This one will be for those in prison. This one will be for those this. This one will be to pay school fees of underprivileged. Okay? This one will even be a donation into another foundation that nobody will even hear about. This last year, I know how many donations were made to support other foundations that we didn't even make noise. The only season we try to make public what we do in charity is either the grant we give, and during my birthday when we just have a series of activities. In the remaining period of the year, there's so much we're doing, right? And we don't believe in coming to DM, and I've said it over and over again. Don't come to my DM to beg for money. Let me tell you what it does to me. When I was young, it gives me a very bad memory, right? When I was young, my mother would take me to our neighbors, not to beg, but to borrow money to send me to school. And there was a look, I still remember that look till tomorrow, that most of those neighbors will look at my mom, right? And each time people beg me for money, I don't like people begging me for money. It reminds me of that. So I promise God, I remember since I was young, if you bless me, I will by myself look for people that I need to help. And I will help them in a dignified way. They will not need to come and be begging me here and there. I will sit down with my team. We will look for people that need help. And we will do it as an institution so that there's no need to be losing your dignity begging. My mother died of cancer in Nigeria. We didn't have 800,000 naira to take her to private hospital. I did not beg any man. So don't tell me I don't understand poverty. Don't tell me I don't understand what you're going through. In this same country, I was owing my landlady for over a year. She would wake up every morning, start singing near our window. You know songs that you know it is you she's talking about. I have seen poverty firsthand, so don't tell me about it. You are ultimately responsible for the outcome of your life. You are not a beggar. Stop begging people for money. You're not a beggar. There's dignity. Rather than beg them, look for something to sell. Look for something to sell. Let God lay it in their heart to come and give you, not you begging them. Let God lay it in the heart of people to come and give you, not you begging them. Let God lay it in their heart to come and give you, not you begging them. In your place of work, when you are dutiful, God will touch people. Your ultimate provider is God, not man. The ultimate giver is God, not man. The ultimate supplier is God, not man. There's nothing a man receives from any other man except God lay it in the heart of that man to give. Face your maker. Face your God. Face your God. Let God touch the hearts of people to bless you. Don't ridicule the name of God. And some even use God to bamboozle you, use scriptures to harass you. You can't play that game. At least not with me. Because I was at your level before and I knew how I carried myself with dignity. Let me tell you a story. I hope this will help you. I was pastoring a zonal church of Winners Chapel many years ago. And they used to have David Oyedepo scholarship program. And the scholarship program came to, every zone, typically they even try to make sure it's spread. My own son was due to resume school. We did not have the money for my son to resume school. And my wife asked me, should I pick a form? And I said to her, if the pastor of these people pick the form, because I was the pastor of that zone, and at the end of the day, it was me they pick, and they didn't even give other members, will they not say their pastor rigged the bursary so that it is him that is getting it, and other members are not getting it? So I told her, I said, God brought us to this ministry to serve. We didn't come to this church for what we will get. I know things are tough at this season because I had lost my business. I was going through some crisis in business. I said, but we are meant to be givers, not beggars. Let's leave it for church members. At the end of the day, it became a crisis where other zones got more. My zone, only 2 people got. What if I was now one of those 2 people? Would they not say I rigged it? And today, and my son stayed at home. He did not resume school. When people are asking my wife, why didn't your son resume? Saying we are waiting for him to grow up older a bit. We want him to grow up a bit. And my son didn't resume school. Today now, there's no school in this world. There's no amount they are paying that we can't afford. And they attend the best school. The same you that assemble yourself, even most of these so-called help me, we push out, what's it called? We push out, what's it called now? We normally push out bursary. You know, I have this yearly bursary we do to support people. Do you know the kind of application we get? Somebody asking us to pay bursary for them to school in UK, in US. And meanwhile, there's somebody that is in Unilag that just need 100,000. There's somebody in UI. And sometimes people even come to my dear and say, first of all, I'm not in charge of picking who wins, but I'm not sure we'll even pick you. Because we have some more serious needs. We have some other people who are here in Nigeria who just need some small money to even pay their government school. We will rather prioritize those people. I have seen people coming to us that we should give them bursary to pay primary school to pay 200,000 at a time where my own children's primary school then, this was a few years ago, was 45,000. And people will apply for Stephen bursary, and their own children primary school is 105, 150. And I'm like, I don't understand. Me that I'm giving the charity, I'm the one giving the bursary. My own children are attending school that they are paying 45,000 naira. You recipients, right, want to take your own children to school. I mean, leave yours. Life is in phases. Men are in sizes. Leave your size part-time. Even you that you say you are poor today, you are part of those who need to start giving. In that your little level, what can I give? Can I join hands with my neighbor? We know one other neighbor that has not raised 20,000. Me, I'll drop 2,000. Right? You two drop 2,000. Let's come together. That is how they did it in the village in those days. I know one of my friend, you know, and big mother is the chairman of the presidential tax committee. Some of you have heard him, Taiwo. Mr. Taiwo said in his days, he was from a village that is so poor that every year the village come together and pay WAEC JAMB for the best student. And he remembered during his year how the entire village came together. These were farmers, these were poor people, everybody contributed. And he was the one that had the best result. And that's why today he started working in PricewaterhouseCoopers, and now he's the chairman of the Presidential Committee on Tax Reform. And he's become a great man today because some people gathered, poor people gathered to see how they can help. So even in our poverty, we learned the culture of helping people. I have been giving to the poor since I was a student myself, relying on a 10,000 naira allowance from my mother. That's when I started my giving. I will gather my colleagues on campus in Osu. Let's contribute 3,000. Our first outreach was 3,000 naira each of us. We were 13. We brought together and started going to an orphanage home to help. That's why the Bible says we are poor yet rich, making others rich. We are poor yet making others rich. That's where that scripture is. That's the depth of that scripture. That even in your level, you are still thinking of being a giver at your level, according to what he has proposed in his heart, not grudgingly, not out of necessity as if God is a beggar or God is in need, but give. And this scripture is not just talking about giving to church. You should give in your church, in your local church, but this giving is general giving. Give to the poor, give to widows, give to orphans, support people. Okay? That is how we rise in this kingdom. So, you are free to join me On Wednesday is my birthday week, and we make this one public. So on Wednesday, we're visiting Ikoyi prison to give, right? You can join, you can reach my team and say, oh, well, I have a bag of this for them. I have a bag of that. We add it to what we're already planning. On Thursday, we're going to, working with widows, providing food with Kuku Foundation. We're doing a lot of that. And then on Saturday, by the grace of God, we're visiting an hospital. I think it's Bagada General Hospital, I'm not sure. And everybody we meet, as long as it's money that's allowing the hospital to keep them there, we're paying their hospital bill and sending them home. Jesus has paid the bill. Jesus has paid the bill. Ladies and gentlemen, that is what true Christianity is about. It is not harassing people that you're a Christian. It is not bragging that you can pray better than us. You can fast better than us. Let your light show shine before men, that they may glorify your heavenly Father. True Christianity is maturity. Is maturity. That's what true Christianity is. Okay? True Christianity is maturity. So, all profit from the sales of my books are going towards this project. So feel free to buy the books. I will appreciate if you can buy the books today. So we have more funds for these 3 projects that we are doing. Okay? And very, very important. So we have these 40 books. You can buy the e-copy for $200. Or the physical copy book for $697, and to be delivered to you anywhere you are in the world. This is heavily discounted, from the regular price. And I want to thank you all. Let me also wrap up by adding this. As a believer, if you are going to go far in business, right, you must show maturity in the marketplace. I will say it again. As a believer, if you're going to go far in business, you must show maturity in the marketplace. Show maturity in the marketplace. They've posted the link for those of you who want to buy the book. Can you guys post it also on YouTube and Zoom, please? Okay, on YouTube and Zoom. And those of you on Zoom, on YouTube, on Facebook, even after we're done with this event, keep sharing, keep getting more people blessed by giving them the link to be part of this event, right? We really want life change. I believe this is already very transformational. And like I told you, this is one of the best events we've ever organized based on quality of speakers and quantity of speakers as well. So kindly share, and let's keep getting more people to join and learn and have a life change. But I've noticed certain culture of lack of maturity among believers, and it needs to stop if you want to grow your business. It's not how business is done. Okay? I remember an experience I had with a gentleman, and I've had several such of experience with other people. I've had people taking me to see properties before that they want me to buy. And for one reason or the other, we end up not buying it. And I probably take pictures and say, well, this is me inspecting this property. I've done it with people who are not Christians. And then there was this guy who said he's a Christian, he's harassed me with his religion. And then we went to check this property. I remember even having a whole training with him and say, hey, when you are giving somebody a deal, get a financier that can do this. Get a construction company. Get a business proposal. Package the deal in such a way that he's just coming in as an investor. I did all of that. At the end of the day, I saw another deal that was better, and I went for that. Oh, Jesus. From my financier to everybody he knew with me, he started calling them, sending them message. Oh, this person said he was going to do something with me. And everybody kept saying, we were wondering at his lack of maturity. He has the right to buy or not buy. I have the right to buy your property or not buy your property. Christians, let's show maturity in the marketplace. These are things unbelievers will not do. They understand that it's a risk, right? I could put in all my effort trying to get, even at my level. I know how many clients we have a property I'm trying to sell in the US as I speak to you, right? And, it's about 20, it's about $5 million with my partner. Do you know, me and my partner in Nigeria now, just to see one of those investors, one of the reasons we came was to meet this person. He has been giving us stories and excuses and he's gotten us to that final line of just, crossing the line. But you can't see me start chatting people that he knows and start saying, you see, this person, he had wasted my energy. I flew all the way from Houston. I came back to Nigeria. My partner came all the way from Nigeria so that both of us are ready here to close the deal. The guy is avoiding us. And talk to him or don't mind him. Oh, I don't believe him. Let us show maturity in the marketplace. Sometimes people even expect some discretion. Imagine it was even a sensitive deal. I don't want people to know. Is that how you will go and be calling everybody and say, this person, see, this deal? Let's show discretion. Let's show maturity. It's not everything that must be sensationalized. It's not everything you must call pastor. You must call deacon. You must call, brother in church. And Brother James, he said he will do this. How far have you heard from Brother James? Let's stop this nonsense. Let's stop this nonsense. Oh, James, sorry. It wasn't your own James. Right? It's not your own James. Let us show maturity in the marketplace. Okay? If we show certain level of maturity, people will be excited to do business with us. People will be interested in doing business with us. People will trust us with their money. Okay? That's the YouTube handle, Dr. S. Akinta on YouTube. Go subscribe and you can watch the entire video and you can copy the link. I need all of you to copy the YouTube link and give people. Also, we have a community we created as well. If the IT team can drop the community link and also drop the YouTube link in the community link so we can spread the YouTube link everywhere. Please, I'm not apostle. I don't believe in title. There's no entitlement in title. Okay, all these apostle, reverend, these are also part of what's killing us as believers. Till tomorrow is Brother Copeland, Brother Hagin. Till Hagin went to be with the Lord. It's brother. Title everywhere, and there's no entitlement in title. Sometimes people will come and pastor this. I'm not, even if I'm a pastor, I'm not your pastor. Right? I'm a businessman. And I've said, and let me warn you, everybody watching this, you better don't do business with my company because I'm a Christian. It is not a requirement. Okay? And please let IT cut this one. Do not do business with me because I'm a Christian. Do business because it makes sense. If you think this is the right company you want to, don't do business with any of my company. I see some of you post those things. Oh, now that I know you're a Christian, I will buy from you. That's pure nonsense. If it is excellent, buy. And the day you disagree with my company, disagree with them based on principle and hold them accountable. Not this one, you now say, well, you see, I bought from him because I heard he's a Christian. Oh, I heard he's even a member of this church. Oh, these are the nonsense we do that is not making Christian businesses to grow. Do business with people because it makes sense. Remove the religion out of it. Remove the sentiment out of it. When you go to Dubai, do you say, I will only go and eat in a Christian restaurant? Do you even care who is the owner of the restaurant, whether it's Christian or Muslim? Do business based on value, quality and that it makes sense. I repeat, don't come and do business with any of the company I own because I'm a Christian. Do business because you think there is value in it. Okay? Do business because you're sure you will get value from the organization, not sentiment, right? Not sentiment of, he's a Christian. That's why, and don't play all this, victim game that we often do. Let's stop it. God bless us. And thank you for listening. I know I've poured my heart out. This event itself is out of a pain point, right? Which is why I said we are not charging for this one. There is something that must change with our people.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Wow. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, if you had to pay money for what you've just heard there, money won't be enough. Dr. Stephen Akitayo has poured out his heart, his soul, his mind. If you haven't got all his books, you are mistaken. And every single one of us on this call right now, you need to jump on his social media and follow him immediately, because whoever you follow determines what follows you. Whoever you follow determines what follows you. Thank you so much, sir, for what you have poured into us. Thank you for the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding. This is amazing. Before we take some questions from you, and you can start writing some questions in the Q&A section, I believe we have a promo video that we want to play right now. But I know we've had great value, great value. If you just apply one principle, build a system, have a routine, get mentorship, manage your time, give, you're going to go far. Don't be hero of the word, be the doer of the word. So let's cue the video and we'll come back for some Q&A with Dr. Stephen Akitayo in a moment. So media team, please, let's cue the promo.
Step into the world of real estate where trust reigns supreme. Our journey is not just about homes, it's about trust, backed by the authentic voices of celebrities who believe in us, from A-list actors to notable personalities. These videos are more than endorsements. They're glimpses into the real stories of people like Mr. Macaroni, Daddy Freeze, Iyabo Ojo, Tonto Dike, Dayo Adeleye, Nedu Wazobia, Ima Kun, Dele Momodu, Betty Irabor, I Am Remote, Jim Eek, and Ini Edo, who've chosen us. Join these stars as they share why our commitment to excellence is not just a statement, but a reality. Welcome to a space where every home resonates with the genuine trust of those who've walked through our doors. This is more than real estate. It's a bond of trust and a promise fulfilled.
Job as a CEO is to be the nice guy. You have failed. You have shareholders. You have investors who put their money down for that company to exist. If you don't make them happy, you're on your own. The employees didn't employ you. Yes, you want to do your best to create a good environment, because remember, that's what enhances productivity for you to even grow, right? But if you prioritize pleasing people over the core thing, which is that we must be profitable, we must make money, we must make sure our shareholders and investors are happy, means you don't even understand who employed. Every CEO is employed by somebody.
In the world's foremost online wealth university, learn how to build your finances through several profitable businesses. Learn how to start and build a business into a successful global company. Learn how to trade Forex, stocks, and crypto in the financial market. You can learn how to build a real estate empire like Dr. Stephen Akitayo, and even learn about e-commerce, public speaking, and digital marketing. With our new state-of-the-art mobile app, creating wealth by gaining knowledge is even easier. You can now take your classes on the go and in multiple languages, interact with tutors, join an ongoing discussion, and expand your horizons. Download the Stephen Akitayo University app today and start your journey to financial freedom.
There's an
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. This has been an amazing time. I have no doubt that each and every one of you was thoroughly blessed, thoroughly blessed. So we're going to go straight into the Q&A. We're going to take a couple of questions from the Q&A. I believe people have been typing their questions, which is amazing. Thank you so much, Dr. Stephen, for pouring out your energy. It's been amazing. So we got a question here from Enahoro, who says, my question is, if you were to start all over again as a beginner in business, what will you do differently? Let's unmute, Doctor.
So, thank you for that question, Enahoro. Funny enough, when people ask me this question, I typically don't even have an answer because at the moment, I again remember what we talked about, that failure is the pathway to success, right? And when you understand that failure is pathway to success, you realize that all the challenges, all the failures is what brought you to where you are at the moment. And so, what exactly are you regretting? So I really don't have much of regret because for me, I started early. I failed, in many ways. I failed in almost 20 businesses. There's a few businesses I've not done. I've sold popcorn, I've hawked electronics, I've done, I have organized trade fairs, I've done all manner, and some worked, some didn't work. But at some point, I figured out what the problem was, which was lack of mentorship. That why my failure was increasing was because I didn't have mentors. So since that time, before I go into any business, I look for people who have made it in that business and then partner with them, and then use that as a tool to move forward. But where I think a few things I think I would do differently, and I think those were as I started rising higher, I did not understand that the mental mindset of some of the people who I had known did not qualify for the new level I was in, right? And so I didn't know that some people closer are irritated by the progress and the success. I didn't know when to, with wisdom, create some gap because they were no longer reasoning at that level. And so what you're doing just out of pure love, this is my family, they see it as, you not, how do I put it? They see it from the angle of, oh, he thinks he's better than us. He thinks he's bigger. He is over ambitious, is this. And so if I learned that, I think I would have avoided some sabotage. I also made some mistake of religious people. I've taught you that. Don't do business because of religion. Do it because it makes sense. Don't do business. Don't pack church members into your company. Let people get job based on merit in your organization, not based on religion, right? Even your company name. You are trying to get people to do business with you, Muslims, Hindu, Shintoist, right? So when you call your company name, Jehovah Nissi Enterprises, I don't understand what's the idea. It says he will give you the wealth of the Gentiles. How will he give you the wealth of the Gentiles when you've told the Gentiles your business is not for them? Okay? Even when it comes to brand endorsement, the brand endorsement simply means you need the followers of these people to do business with your company, right? And so if you then base it based on, oh, I only get brand endorsement from someone who is a Christian or someone who like my pastor or someone who is this, then you are limiting the growth of your company because you are now saying that, well, I don't want people who are of this color. I want everybody to do business with me, right? Black, white, neutral, Christian, Muslim, Shintoist, Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, straight, homosexual, transgender. I need everybody to do business with me. If I believe that God will transfer the wealth of the Gentiles to me, right? God will not steal the wealth from them and put it in my account. I cannot steal the wealth from them and put it in my account. It means I have to offer a solution that will make them to pay me, right? So, however, in doing that, I must maintain my core value. I must be plain about my identity. I must not be ashamed of who I am, which is what you see me do in the marketplace. I am not ashamed that I'm a Christian. I'm not perfect. And please get that right. My Christianity is a relationship between me and God. So I can tell you I'm a Christian and you say, see the way you abuse somebody. I don't think Christians should be like that. That's your opinion. The Christianity is not for you. It's for me and my maker. Right? So I'm not perfect, but I love my God. And he knows. Ask him when you get to heaven. He knows I love him. So, and that's okay for me. And I'm making that known publicly, and I'm not ashamed of it. Okay? But that's where it ends. After that, we're doing business. Right? And God bless you, no matter who you are. And I love you still, no matter who you are. Because my Christ came for sinners, ate with sinners, dined with sinners. So all this cancel culture that Christians do, Christians cannot be doing cancel culture. It's anti-Jesus. There's no such thing. Right? It's just not biblical. So this one, cut him off. No. Right? Nothing wrong with people coming after you and you defend yourself. And I do a lot of that. Trust me. You will never see Steve Akita wake up one day and then attack people. Even if you know how many people owe me money. Right? A gentleman used to be my mentee, and these are things I learned to. Took him to Dubai, all expense paid trip more than twice. Took him to Maldives. Right? Did business over 180 million. The entire system crashed. This was a business I committed into his hand out of. I took him to court. None of you saw it on social media. Right? None of you saw it on social media. But I'm learning now to begin to push systems. So, for example, in our company, this Friday, we're having a new board for every subsidiary. Those are things I'm learning because absolute power corrupts absolutely. As our business started growing, I needed to trust people. And I've had the people I trust betray that trust. But I'm learning now that you may have created, a cabal around them. Yes, you are the head, but there's this team of 5 people, 10 people, right? That will ask you questions that love Dr. Stephen. People like, imagine I put people like Action Jackson, right, to be in charge of a committee. And I think that reminds me, I'm adding you to the UK board. Right now, just remember, right? So remember, imagine someone like Action Jackson, because I've opened my UK office 3 times. 3 times. At some point, we took a guy from Nigeria, took him to the UK, paid his accommodation, office, everything. Right? He did not make a dime in sales. We blew so much money. Months later, a lady chatted me on Instagram, and that this your staff that you sent is owing me money. All the while he was in UK, he's always sleeping in my house. He got me pregnant. He asked me to abort. She went all ranting, all manner. All manner. So I said, if I had had people, and I have so many people who love me, and would do anything, for my person. If I've had those kind of people, surround the people I'm entrusting things in their hands, those people, of course, you will create a lot of hearsay because some of them say this person has done this person, and some of those people also will not feel comfortable because it's like every day they are reporting them. But it will also get them to sit up because absolute power corrupts absolutely, and people just need to sit up. So those are things I've learned in business. Create a lot of corporate governance around people you're trusting with things. so that they are held accountable, so that there's a whole lot around them. So I've had all manner. One of them, for example, handle my business in Dubai as well. And people were buying property. Once they call me, I say, talk to this person. This is the person in charge. At the end of the day, there were so many mess created. And I realized that sometimes when your employees create mess, they then dump the thing on your head. Okay? And what was funny with this particular person was that I had even given her equity. So when I see people talk evil about founders, I just shake my head, right? That you had a bad experience doesn't mean everybody's like that, right? That you worked for a company, and sometimes even the so-called bad experience you had, we need to question it, because sometimes it's just your own immaturity. So today I've learned now, you can't just be reporting people to me. I sense it. I filter your statement from your lens of bias. I filter. You can't just bring certain things to me, right? Because I filter it better now, because maturity is there. Because and when you have not experienced life, okay, when you've not experienced life, you think, because there's a phase of my life where I just was, and thank God that I was quiet. I want to beg every one of us, can we study to be quiet? If something is happening around people that are ahead of you, can you study to be quiet? Convert your criticism to questions. Just convert it to questions. So why sir, why are we doing things this way? Because sometimes you're in an institution and they are taking certain decisions and you don't understand that decision because you're not there yet. Okay? I'll give you an example. I've worked under a mentor that the only people this mentor allowed around him, I'm not kidding you, are people that he has known minimum 20 years. Can you believe that, Action Jackson? 20 years. And then sometimes I would be feeling like, dear mentor, these people are not innovative. They're archaic. They are too rigid. We need to do we need to inject new blood. And I'm realizing today now, do you know how tough it is for GTEx to, right? That's why at some point we now say, you know what, at this point, internship. By the way, those of you who want to do internship, please can the team put it there. We have a 6-month internship. We don't pay you. We give you commission. In fact, many people end up earning more than what they would have earned if they were paid from commission. But we had to start that as a process to just sieve people and filter the shaft. And we intentionally said there's no money, because if you can do 6 months without thinking, I'm working with this billionaire, he's going to give me plenty of money. If you can endure it for 6 months, then you're the right person. Because we started asking people to control estates that is worth X, businesses that is worth X, right? And some of them, they just can't carry it because they were too, new. And it will take some of them years later. I just saw in my mail yesterday a gentleman who by himself resigned from the company. Okay? Applying to come back. Unfortunately, I think the HR is different. It was when I saw that he's going to be resuming, I'm like, but this guy was here with us just a year plus ago. If I tell you how many employees said all manner of nonsense about us, now are begging to come back. I'm like, so please, sometimes study to be quiet when people are ahead of you and things are happening that you can't understand, because you are not yet at that level. You have not faced what they are facing. There's so a lot of behind the scene that you do not understand. For example, I can never believe in my life that somebody can go and pay media houses to claim, right, that he got a court order to shut down our business when we've never even had any transaction in Abuja to even start with this particular person. We've never even had anything to do with Abuja. The company had never, In fact, it was when they gave me the report that he was arrested and arraigned in court that I was seeing his picture for the first time in my life. And this guy paid newspapers and they put my picture that I've got a court order to shut down their fraudulent criminal. Hey. But if you are not at our level, you've not seen things like that. So typically you say, oh, there's no smoke without fire. I have seen smoke and there's no fire. No one. It's a function of the level you are. So there's a level you get to that certain dimension of things start facing you. So if you are not there, you will just be thinking, this. Do you know how many times? And that, thank God I kept quiet. But in my mind, I just, the way Bishop Oyedepo's handbook, all this, let's keep quiet, until I got there. And me too, I started keeping quiet. And people will be disturbing me. Oh, they're maligning your name. You need to defend. And I'm like, what do we say? How do you, what do we say? And I'm like, oh no, thank God I did not go about saying some things about, at least I said those things in private, because now I'm understanding, I'm like, okay. So some of these things are part of growth. I will stop there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that answer there. That was amazing. You can see the amount of wisdom that Dr. Stephen Akitayo carries. Please do follow him on social media, Instagram, Stephen Akitayo on Instagram. You get to enjoy his journey. We have another question there, which is amazing. And the young person says, as a student, how did you begin your entrepreneurial journey? Because obviously students want to transition from, being a student to entrepreneurship. And I know your beginnings was definitely one that was entrepreneurial. As a student, how did you begin the entrepreneur journey?
Beautiful question. So I wish I could say that, I just came up with it, but the first thing that triggered it was the poverty around me. The second thing that triggered starting early was I had this mentor of mine, it was like an egbon in where I school. I went to a school in Bashita, Kwara State, my secondary school. And so at some point when he finished from University of Ilorin, he came back to Bashita and then was teaching me biology. And he was one of the best students from University of Ilorin. And by the time I entered OSU, he had been in Lagos for a while. And I visited him one day and I met him. And thank God the story is a sweet one now. If I met one of his brothers, he's now based in US with his family. And I visited him and I saw him and about 8 brothers in one room. And this is a guy who got one of the best results from University of Ilorin, Federal University. And in those days, I don't know whether they still do it now, there's discrimination between state university and federal university. So imagine you just entered a state university, which is ranked lesser. And then you're seeing somebody who graduated from a federal university with a better result than you ever think you will get. Because I wasn't a brilliant guy in school. And that got me thinking. And yet my mother had said, go to school, get a degree, you get a good job, you make money. I realized that something is wrong with this story. So I remember asking him, Ebon, what's going on? He said, Kosisha, Stephen, Kosisha. In other words, there's no job, Stephen, there's no job. That's what he said to me. So while taking the bus back to Agoye, Ogun State University or OU, whatever name you call it, I remember making a vow. I made a pledge. I said, by the time I graduate from the university, if there is no job, I will create one. Hence, I will go to every entrepreneurship seminar, every business seminar. And that's why today I tell you, The key is reading books, buy books, go to seminars. Some of you think it's because we sell books. That was the pathway we got here. It wasn't about we trying to sell books. That was how we got here. That was the secret. We just started, picking whatever, we could read. So my first move was returning back to school. And you can ask those who went to school with me. I will attend every meeting around business, every seminar, every conference. I will volunteer for them. And I started learning, and then I could soak knowledge like a sponge, right? I'm not always the best guy in the room, but I'm always the guy ready to apply it. I always tell people I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I will out hustle anybody, any day, anytime. Okay, so I put in all that work to learn it. By my third year or so, I started. No, I started my first year. I was even in pre-degree. I started by selling ebooks. And I shared the story of how I sent, and I had been a good, and that's why we talk about character. So I've had family, friends, and all of them. When I go to their house, I wash their toilet for them. I'll do a lot of cleaning. I'll do a lot of house chores. And I've started that even at home as well. So when I got in, I needed some money. What my mother was sending to me wasn't enough to start this business. So I needed money for flyers. I already had the ebook already, John Maxwell. And that's why people don't know how humbling it was for me to host the same Brian Tracy, the same John Maxwell, the same. These were people I used to sell their ebooks in the university. So I had this reseller write an e-copy. I bought it from another guy for 3,000 naira. It was a lot of money then. 3,000 naira there was like 300, probably 3 million now, equivalent. It was a lot of money. So I was to now be duplicating it on CD. If you remember CD that you insert in a laptop disk. So I then needed to multiply those disks. I also needed to do flyer on campus and paste it across campus that, if you want topics on relationship, on web design, on business, on motivation, I think there were over 500 books, ebooks. So that was my first business. So I send SMS to, phone just came out, send SMS to 20 people and ask them to support me, not loan, And because I knew I had been, helpful to them, house chores have been, and 10 replied and sent something. 10 didn't reply. But I had enough money to produce the discs and to do the flyer. Guess what? The man who eventually became my HOD was one of my first clients, Professor Bajo. I'm not sure I remember his name. In fact, we became close. Even after school, he loved me so dearly, right? And he was one of my first clients. And I didn't even know he would become my teacher. I just remember the man came, we met. I said, okay, we'll meet at one filling station, and I go with chips. And I gave him the disc, gave me 500 naira. That was the price I was selling it then. And that's how I started. Later, I'd sold popcorn. I hawked electronics. So somebody knows him, Professor Adebajo, yes. I hawked electronics. I used to organize trade fair in PS, mini campus. So those who went to OSU will know these secrets, right? So I organized trade fair. That landed me into trouble as well. My last trade fair was a disaster. People were holding my chest, my clothes, because the professor eventually asked that, the vice chancellor asked us to shut down the trade fair by the second day. And my vendors had paid me money. I paid the people who brought chairs, the people who paid canopy, they refused to refund. And then the vendors wanted refund. And they were holding my chest like, you give us our money. And you see how life taught me humility. And that's why sometimes people say, you're humble. I say, I have seen life. I didn't jump up. When I see people misbehave, they've not seen life, right? When you see life and you grow up and you've been through process, even in success, there's a dimension of humility that comes with it because you've seen a lot. So I had to start begging them, please, when I organize the next trade fair, I will compensate you. But the VC said we should shut down the show and all of that. And today is our story today. So I hope I've encouraged the young man that's asking that question.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. This is a very powerful question here from Oreofe. And Oreofe says, my question is, as a small bakery owner, people that work with me learn on the job and some leave unannounced, though some start their own business, which I'm happy for, but I realize I keep teaching new hands over and over. How do I retain the hands that I've trained to maximize time, energy, and increase revenue?
Beautiful question. Beautiful question. And funny enough, I heard this many years ago. I went to an event in Daystar, and somebody asked Reverend Sam this same question, and Reverend Sam's answer was not obviously what he wanted to hear. It wasn't even what me too I wanted to hear. And the answer was simple. I never knew in future I would be tested in the same. Keep training them. Those who will be loyal will be loyal. Those who will go. But don't stop doing the right thing because of few bad eggs. And the same thing happened to me as my business grew. You remember I started with digital marketing. I was heavy on training. In fact, as I speak to you, one of our consultants said he has trained banks. He has trained different companies. GTech spend the highest money on training. Our top, the most senior management alone, go through, organized by the company, 4 retreats in a year. Four retreats. Average of those retreats cost us between 20 to 30 million each one. And this is aside other staffs. We invest heavy in retreat. We pour, I see competitors admire us and all of that. The secret is training. I spend money to train my people, right? And unfortunately, people who refuse to train their own staff will come and then start plucking them and, claim they are going to give them better incentives, and they go. But guess what? I have learned over the years that some will go, but some will wait. But guess what? Those who will wait will be worth it. It will be what I promise you. It will be worth it. And in fact, it will create humility in the system, because you will now see some who go and then discover there's nothing out there. And that has happened with our organization. And guess what? They will now be calling those who are in the system to borrow money. And that became a shocker for those ones who are inside. And that's why sometimes people wonder the level of loyalty of our staff, because they've seen those who left. They've seen those same people who left coming back to borrow money. They're like, but when you were leaving, you told us you had this better deal. They were going to give you official card. They were going to pay you better. They were going to do this. They were going to do that. Okay, how come you are coming back to us to borrow money? Right? So today, it's even the people in the system who will tell me, sir, we cannot take this one back. Okay, this one maybe we'll forgive him. We'll take this person back because he was not loyal. Right? I have taken some people back, and it's important sometimes to take some people back because it also serves as a lesson. But make sure the person comes and speak to everybody so they can learn that there's nothing out there that they are rushing to, right? At the same time, to balance this conversation, some had left and they did well, and I'm proud of them. But what I noticed is that most of those who did well left in a good way. One of those you will meet in the course of this 7-day event is Mayowa. Mayowa worked with me as an intern. And when he was done, he said he wanted to go and continue his business because he had even started his business before. He shut down his business and came to work with me as an intern. So when he was done, he left in a peaceful way. He still was the best web designer I'd had as at that time. He did a good job with us. He left well. And hear this, and this is where we must get it right. When he eventually left, he started back in his room, in his house. 3 months later, he moved to the same office that our company is, because it was a complex. There were many offices there. So he was, I think, on the ground floor or something. I was at the, the third floor, the fourth floor. And we're offering the same services. In fact, some clients that couldn't afford me, I would tell them, you know what, there's Mayowa. If you just go down, I trained him. He will still charge you cheaper than me. You can go and meet him. And we were in the same building for about 2 or 3 years before we moved on. Right? There's no competition. But what made it easy was Mayowa left well. So I want to beg those of you on this call, if you're leaving anybody, leave them well. Explain to them. If you have a contract that says give them 6 months, give them 6 months. If you have a contract that says give them one month, give them 1 month. Right? You may still need that bridge. And don't cut off a bridge that others need to use to cross, because you don't need it. It is selfishness. It is selfishness. I've had employees who came to me that God told them to leave me and that they were going to start something with somebody else, and they were lying to my face. It was a competitor that called them. 6 months down the line, they left the same competitor because all the lies they were promised, none of it came to pass. And they are now using people around me to talk to me to try and see whether they can come back. Funny enough, some I'm willing to take back, some maybe not. But fortunately for me, things are easier now because we now have CEOs, we now have HR, and they make those final decisions. So even when people come back, I will say, well, you have to go meet them. And unfortunately for some of them, it was their junior who is now their seniors. So some of them have to, figure out a way around it. But what I know, and I encourage all entrepreneurs, treat them well. Wish everybody well. Whether they left you or not, people will always leave. There's nobody that, even your children will leave you at some point.
Of course.
Right? So treat them well. Don't make it personal. Don't let them be the one misbehaving as children. Make it easy to be able to come back and apologize. I've had many of them come back, apologize, even if for just apologies, even if they can't come back into the company, but express how sorry they were, and publicly so. So leave room, make it easy for people to be able to come back to you and say, I was wrong, you were right. It's important.
Powerful. Thank you so much. I'm reminded of a quote by Richard Branson that said, train people well enough so they can leave, but treat them well enough so they want to stay. And that's definitely what, that's a very powerful, and that's from Richard Branson there. There's an abundance in the kingdom of God. So that it's a blessing that you can be a blessing of that nature. Final question of the day. Olauni Kwekun says, sir, I live in the UK. How do I start my own real estate business in the UK?
Beautiful question. The first answer is training. So which real estate training have you gone to? There's a friend of mine, Magnus, is a partner as well in the UK. Magnus, I'm not sure. McBain. You can Google McBain in the UK. He runs a real estate training regularly. And I think he does internship as well. So you can go to someone like that and just do internship. Of course, I keep telling you there's power in volunteering. He will not pay you, but using those 3 to 6 months will help you to understand the UK real estate market is totally different from any other country. And you will have a support even after you go and start your own. Because the problem with many businesses that people start, when you don't have somebody to hold your hand when you go on your own, I think is a problem. So I think it's very critical that people take note of that. So I think mentorship training is very important. Secondly, start as a property agent. The good news, UK does not need a license for you to be an agent. You need a license in the US, of course, but I'm not sure there's a license for you to be a property agent in the UK. So you can be an agent to top time developers in the UK and start by getting commissions for every sales. You can do rental, you can do house purchases, you can do auction. Auction is also very good. So I have a team of people around. I do a lot of trainings in the UK. If you want to attend the next one, I think I should be having one in February. So just indicate to reach out to my team. Can the admin drop the number? You can come for the training and I'll link you up with a lot of my people. However, if you want to go into development, make sure you have some money and you have training and you have lenders. I know somebody also in the UK who work with lenders to support you because it's very important. Once you master getting lenders, then you should be fine. So that's the critical part. I saw a question here I want to pick up quickly,
Yes,
because
sir.
again, we need to to our people. Matthew Ajibade, I'm presently engaged to execute a MOX project as a believer. What's your take? I don't understand. You shouldn't even ask the question. Of course, execute. What are you waiting for? Don't be shocked the day you hear that I build a MOX in GTEX estate, or the day I donate towards a MOX. Don't be shocked. Right? In the marketplace, I am an entrepreneur.
Hmm.
In the marketplace. Okay? In my secret place, I have a relationship with my maker. So get it. Okay? So they gave you a job to build a mosque, to build an hotel. It's your job. So do your job. Okay? But your conscience, because we grow every day. I remember, so let me joke this. My friend always, tell my other friends about this. His name is Izu, right? And Izu said the first day he met me, he invited me to a lounge. It was, if you know Ikeja City Mall, it's called Rhapsody Lounge. And it was a lounge where they sell drinks and they also sell food. So as soon as I got there, the first thing I told Izu was, oh, Izu, I'm not comfortable here. I'm not comfortable here. I'm not comfortable being in a place that has a bar. I, so he laughed at me today as to how far I've grown. Because today, I mean, a lot of my friends, trust me, they are really far from Jesus. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But but we have business to do together. They know my stance on, right? They don't even waste their time. Even when they meet other friends trying to say, oh, take this, they say, no, he doesn't do that. Just leave him. Just leave him. Right? So, and I think that's the way it's done. When you at the level of billionaires, the thing is different, though. Right? And you can't be cherry picking. That's why you see a Dangote do Christmas with $10 Christians. And a conk Muslim. Dangote believes in Islam to his bone, right? But Dangote has more Christian friends than Muslim friends. Okay? So we must understand these things about becoming, and that's why many of us don't rise to a level, because we carry this I am better than you attitude. I am holier than you attitude. You sinners, you are not fit for my presence. You do not deserve. And I don't know what to say, honestly. And at the end of the day, the same Christians are complaining Muslim ticket because you have refused to attend their APC or PDP or MPP party meeting. You claim they're all sinners, they're all dirty. Why are you then complaining, okay, that they are taking over? You left it for them. You did. You did. It was your choice. It was your decision. So why are you angry? And again, pastor, I hope some pastors are going to watch this. I pray they do, right? Because we haven't sent our people to the marketplace.
Hmm.
And when they go to the marketplace, we didn't ask them to be undercover for God.
Come on.
We told them, just be telling everybody, no, I'm this, and be telling them their sins, tell them they are going to hell. And what is even worse of all, you see people say they are Christians, they've stolen government money.
Hmm.
So what's the point? I don't understand it. You see people claim that they are civil servants, they've stolen. Some of them will still be dressing like Christian, born again, hold the Bible, but they are still stealing. I don't join them for meeting, I don't drink, I don't do, but they are still stealing. I don't get it. So who are you trying to impress, really? Right? Who are you trying to impress? Okay? Who are you trying to impress? So my advice is that it is important for us to know that you're a light in the marketplace.
Yes.
And you should shine. And what should shine first is your fruit. Remember what the Bible says, by their fruits we shall know them. What should shine, not your emblem, is not your sticker, is not your, Jesus, your winner all the time sticker. That's not what should shine. I'm a winner, Fortune 2024, all your greetings and and those. What should shine is your excellence in the marketplace. When people are now curious and then begin to talk, how come Daniel is better? How come Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were 10 times better? I said, no, the reason now, you don't know the reason. The guy is a Christian now. The guy get Holy Ghost now, right? The guy operates in the place of the supernatural now. How come everybody does not know the answer, but this guy knows the answer? I said, no. Go check him out now. That is the way it should be.
Yes. Wow. You are dropping some gems. This is why every one of you, please, when you finish this call, send the link to every Christian you know. Every Christian you know. When the Bible says he shall do a new thing, we're still waiting. But it takes wisdom. There's a difference between the presence of God and the principles of God. Christians love the presence of God, but they don't practice the principles of God. People like Dr. Stephen Akitayo practice both the present and the principle. And he ends up being criticized by Christians. Can you imagine? And so there is answer here. There is answer here. Follow the principles. Sir,
let me even add that the mosques you are building, you should display high level, design architecturally, structurally, that all the imam will call other imams and say, if you want somebody to build a good building, this is the guy. That's how excellent you should be. That everybody the news goes about that this guy, listen now, I will keep forgetting, was Babylon that Daniel served a Christian nation? I mean, what are we talking about? We didn't even get it. Not only was it not a Jewish nation, Babylon was oppressing the Jews. The people that were colonized were the Jews, and Daniel happened to be one of those colonized by the kingdom of Babylon. And yet, he was employed to be a consultant, a counselor, an advisor, and he will still go and consult his Jewish God on how to interpret the dream for the king of Babylon. He will still go and, consult his Jewish God on how to advise the nation that held them captive. Oh, Haba. Don't we get?
Wow. Listen, when you get to work today, let them know through your excellence. Know your quoting of scripture. It's through the excellence of your display. This is amazing. We can be here for the next 3 hours with Dr. Stephen. Trust me, easily. When the guy starts, wisdom is just pouring from his experiences. He's got stories for days, land banking stories, billionaire code for pastors, for entrepreneurs. Listen, my office is surrounded by his books. I've got his books. And let me tell you, not only do I have his book, and you can see the pen. I make notes in the books, you see, and I'm applying them one by one. And Dr. Stephen's principles has taken me from glory to glory. I have secured certain deals because of his principles, and I'm yet to just see more. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much for your time today, sir. It's been amazing. Go and follow. Listen, increase his followership right now. Stop following these the people that give you useless insights on Instagram. We are back tonight. I'm excited. We're back tonight at the exact time. Please be early. 6:50 p.m. That's UK time tonight. The times are all over the flyers for the evening session. And I'm really excited because tonight we have a very, very powerful and very, very special gift as an entrepreneur. But before we kind of step into that, what did you get out of today? Tonight, we have Dr. Olumide Emmanuel as the first speaker. So be ready at 7 p.m. That's 7 p.m. I'm sure that the time conversion will be stated. That's 6 p.m. UK, 7 p.m. West African time. And our second speaker, once again, will be Dr. Stephen Akitayo again. Wow. As if we haven't had enough. As if we haven't had enough. He will be back for more. So here is your assignment for today between the morning session and the evening session. I want you to take one of those principles and go and apply it. Go and apply it. Go and build a system. Go and build a routine. Go and give. Go and seek mentorship. As a matter of fact, here's what I want you to do. Reach out to someone who you believe would be a great mentor to you and find a way to serve them. Find a way to serve them. Do not be greedy. Do not be selfish. Serve, serve, serve. Serve your way into the palace. Everything in the Bible is predicated on service. From Genesis to Revelation, it was all service. Jesus came because of the service of mankind. Okay? And this is why you know that God is the greatest entrepreneur, because entrepreneurship is coming into darkness and turning it into light, finding solutions to every problem. Okay? This has been amazing. I am thoroughly excited. Block out your time throughout this whole week. There are many speakers coming up. Pastor Sam Adeyemi, Vusi will be speaking. Dr. Kitayo's wife will be speaking. I think she's already spoken, I'm not too sure. But there's so many different speakers that's going to be on this week. Apostle Toby Araimi will be speaking. So get your friends on this conference. Let me tell you, let Africa know that this is happening. This Global Believers Wealth Conference is happening. It's time to take the church out of poverty mentality, especially those of us in Africa. My name is Action Jackson. You can follow me, Action Jackson Live, on Instagram, on YouTube, Action Jackson on Twitter. Together, we will build the wealth. Together, we will fulfill the mandate that is in the Word of God. We will not be borrowers, but we shall be lenders. For those of us who join us late, the anchor for today and our mantra for today is, I'm a wealth builder. Wealth building is my responsibility. Now, I'll get in trouble with Dr. Stephen if I don't play my anthem song. And the anthem song says, dream big, act now, never give up, because you are amazing. Okay. So I dedicate this song to each and every one of you that's been watching right now. Remember this song as you go into your day. Dream big. Act now. Never give up. You're amazing. Dream big. Act now. Never give up. You're amazing. Dream big. Type it in the comments. Act now. Never give up. You're amazing. Dream big. Act now. Never give up. You're amazing. I build wealth. That's my responsibility. Global Wealth Conference. Give God the glory for the wisdom. Let's continue to build wealth. Dream big. Act now. Never give up. You're amazing. Dream big. Act now. Never give up. You're amazing. And so, Father, I declare over each and every one of you right now that you will go forth and be an example to the next generation. You will go forth and be an example for the church to follow. One day they will come and watch you do a conference on wealth. One day they will come and buy your properties. One day they will buy your books. One day they will patronize your business. Dream big. Act now. Never give up. You're amazing. Dream big. Act now. Never give up. You're amazing. Yes. What a way to start the day. Go online, follow Dr. Stephen right now. Share everything you've learned. Your social media platform today should be filled with each and every one of your notes. The best way to master a piece of knowledge is to go and share it. That's how we know you've learned it. I am so excited. I can't wait to join you again later on this evening. Dr. Stephen Akitayo is on Instagram. I love his Instagram. Honestly, I look forward to his posts because he creates this level of frustration in me. Because I said, if he can do it, what am I doing? Many of the principles that I operate on my platform is because of Dr. Stephen. So thank you so much to everyone watching. To the GTEX team, we love you for being the team and the force that's keeping this vision alive. There is nothing more ministry-like than GTEX team. That is ministry. The Bible says, go into the world and make disciples of them. Be the light and be the salt. GTEX team, you rock. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to the First Lady as well, the Right Honorable, the one and only, the amazing, the incomparable, the wisdom carrier, Lady Bisi Akitayo. Thank you so much for being the rock, standing by our very great mentor, Dr. Stephen Akitayo. They say, beside every great man, there is a great woman. She is definitely a great woman. I mean, when you watch her content online, woo, you want to just get off your 9 to 5 and go make something happen. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Stay in the mentality of service. Continue to pour out. Continue to serve. And just remember, my life will never be the same again. Throughout today, start confessing, I'm a wealth builder. Wealth building is my responsibility. I'm a wealth builder. Wealth building is my responsibility. I'm a wealth builder. Wealth building is my responsibility. Thank you so much, everyone. We will see you all on Instagram. Let's all share. Let's go crazy on the stories. We shall see you tonight. God bless. Take care.
If you think your job as a CEO is to be the nice guy, you have failed. You have shareholders, you have investors who put their money down for that company to exist. If you don't make them happy, you're on your own. The employees didn't employ you. Yes, you want to do your best to create a good environment, because remember, that's what enhances productivity for you to even grow, right? But if you prioritize pleasing people over the core thing, which is that we must be profitable, we must make money, we must make sure our shareholders and investors are happy, means you don't even understand who employed. Every CEO is employed by somebody.
Step into the world of real estate where trust reigns supreme. Our journey is not just about homes, it's about trust, backed by the authentic voices of celebrities who believe in us, from A-list actors to notable personalities. These videos are more than endorsements. They're glimpses into the real stories of people like Mr. Macaroni, Daddy Freeze, Iyabo Ojo, Tonto Dike, Dayo Adeleye, Nedu Wazobia, Ima Kun, Dele Momodu, Betty Irabor, I Am Remote, Jim Eek, and Ini Edo, who've chosen us. Join these stars as they share why our commitment to excellence is not just a statement, but a reality. Welcome to a space where every home resonates with the genuine trust of those who've walked through our doors. This is more than real estate. It's a bond of trust and a promise fulfilled. In the world's foremost online wealth university, learn how to build your finances through several profitable businesses. Learn how to start and build a business into a successful global company. Learn how to trade Forex, stocks, and crypto in the financial market. You can learn how to build a real estate empire like Dr. Stephen Akintayo, and even learn about e-commerce, public speaking, and digital marketing. With our new state-of-the-art mobile app, creating wealth by gaining knowledge is even easier. You can now take your classes on the go and in multiple languages, interact with tutors, join an ongoing discussion, and expand your horizons. Download the Stephen Akintayo University app today and start your journey to financial freedom.
Hello everyone, my name is Betty Irabo. I'm the founder of Genevieve Magazine and a global keynote speaker. I've always believed in the power of making informed decisions, whether it's in publishing or my various philanthropic endeavors. I've always strived for excellence. The most important decision that has made me more successful is financial literacy. Now, let me introduce you to the first digital cooperative in Africa. With the GVest app, I let my money work for me by having real estate investments that guarantee me yearly return on my investment. With the GVest app, I let my money work for me. You can too. Sign up today.
I'm known as Africa's most influential investment coach. I'm Dr. Stephen Akintayo. Sometimes you just want to have a home. Meanwhile, real estate is actually a vehicle for investment where you can own properties and people, of course, pay you rental income. And once you can do it such that the rental income is higher than the mortgage, now you have a source of passive income. And that's really how you build wealth. People who don't have the background can now learn and connect with experts. That's why it's called real. It's the only estate that is real.